Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast. We are live. This is episode 35 of the Simpsons Index. Hello, I'm your host, Elliot O'Neill, and I'm not in the tank. I keep doing this. What's this place called again?
Frosting Fort.
Yeah. We are at Frosting Fort, and joining me in Frosting Fort is...
Shayna.
And...
'Twas a moonless night, black as pitch, when out of the mist walked a beast more stomach than man.
And... Finally...
Cookie Kwan, number one on the west side.
Sorry, we ate a lot of pizza, so I just felt that was appropriate.
Fair enough. So yeah, that's Shayna, Jordan, and BT. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
And yes, this is the Simpsons Index, the podcast where we review 3 episodes of The Simpsons at a time. The catch is each episode comes from a different decade. So we just started out. We watched our newest episode first, season 27, episode 10, The Girl Code. Original air date, January 3rd, 2016. And this is the one where Lisa becomes a coder and Homer becomes Greek. Guys, what'd you think?
Pretty lame.
Yep.
Wow.
Pretty lame.
I may as well have been watching an episode of Family Guy.
Yeah.
Like, here's my joke. Cut to the punchline. Oh, God.
I think we were watching according to Jim or something. This is
It wasn't...
According to
Yeah,
Jim.
it was... I think the thing was, it was lame humor as opposed to, with a lot of other HD episodes, kind of awful humor.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
trying to take
yeah.
a topic and just being
really
terrible.
trying so hard to be topical and not sticking the landing.
No, and like this is at a time as well, and like still is, where Greece isn't doing so well as a country. It felt like they were really taking some digs at them.
Yeah, although I
was
did really like the line of like, we're just going to slowly decline for the next thousands of years. Oh, I can't remember exactly what it
Yeah.
was, but I mean, you know, I didn't really quite understand why Homer was suddenly a wog. Like, I don't know why that just came about, but I
Yeah.
quite liked that punchline because as much as I love my Greek friends, that's kind of what's happening in Greece. It's just
It
like,
is.
we were so awesome a few
Yeah,
thousand
it wasn't
years ago.
exactly helping either.
No, also
They made
not.
democracy and just kind of tried to coast after that. And it-
What,
Yeah,
what,
that's
what did you say the original air date of this one was?
January 3rd, 2016.
Just over a year ago.
2016. I was about to say, because I wondered, we're trying to figure out if it
Where
was
the decline.
right when Greece had just...
It's
soon.
not quite those days anymore, but it's still pretty bad. I mean, you can't fucking flush toilet paper in that country.
Yeah.
Like, it's sad. It's a beautiful country, I hear. Anyone been?
well, they're selling lots of it if you want some. So.
Yeah. We could probably afford an island there.
Maybe. Rename it the Simpsons Index Paradise.
Simpsons Index
Paradiso.
Island.
I'd go.
Yeah, just talking about it now as well. Like, I was actually not minding this episode at the start, but around the point where Homer got his job as the dishwasher and decided, I'm Greek now, is where
Yeah.
the episode started to lose it for me.
Well, it also kind of tries to make some deeper points, but doesn't understand its own meanings, and then it loses it entirely.
Yeah, it feels like a bunch of stuffy old white guys trying to make some point about modern day feminism as well.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you got to picture the Simpsons writers of this particular episode as being a bunch of guys in a room with cigars and brandy going, oh, well, I hear the internet's big now and make an episode about that.
Yeah.
And put some women in it, I guess.
Yeah, it was almost about kind of like people have a problem with striving for equality. And in it, what is considered, you could say coding is a generically male-dominated industry. And look, I mean, the way that they handled the topic wasn't fantastic, but, you know, at least trying to say a thing about, you know, like, hey, we're trying to do something that we feel is important, and they were kind of just taking a knife to it, I felt, which was a little bit...
but there was a time in classic Simpsons history where they did show equality with Lisa doing things that women didn't typically do in STEM or whatever, and they showed it really well. I think what this episode is aiming at is modern day feminism, which does exclude men and which does basically make men the demons of everything.
Well,
and I
yeah.
think that's just showing that. It's just anger at that, and it's not well executed. I'm not going to say that it's well executed because it's absolutely not.
It's not
But I
done with any
understand-
other subtlety or sophistication that the old Simpsons would have done.
Absolutely not. No, but I think that there was a time when The Simpsons really did focus on equality for women and champion that almost.
Yep, I also like that they then moved from that to almost to then parody themselves, like when during the football episode, and Lisa shows them, it's like, a girl wants to play football. What do you think? They're like, yeah, we've already got girls on the team.
And then
And she just leaves when she can't make a stand.
yeah.
But anyway, we'll jump back to the beginning and go through all this. and-
Yep. So one we go straight to Ep, no introduction. So
Yep.
because they had so much time, apparently, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised. All the Homer Greek bullshit, they
It
could
just
have
went
cut
on
it
and on.
out and just made a better Lisa coding episode,
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But anyway, it doesn't even start out with Homer being Greek. It tries to get there
we have to
organically.
get there.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Homer hasn't been Greek for the last 28 years.
I
And
know.
somehow now he
Weird.
is.
Yeah, I do like it starts with Marge cleaning a dustpan to a mirror shine.
Yeah. She discovers, oh no, Homer left his lunchbox at home.
Dum,
Oh,
dum, bum.
because that guy can't go without a meal.
Mm.
And then
yeah.
I like this, the fact that Marge is such a... Really, she's a loving wife. Like, she puts up with a lot from Homer, but she's really that kind of traditional wife in that, she's the stay-at-home mum and everything. But she has this kind of image in her head of, oh no, Homer has forgotten his lunch. He's going to get hungry, pass out, and fall into a vat of acid. Like, so I have to immediately rush his lunch over to him. And I think it's kind of cute for Marge to
that
be like,
she's-
just,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's
so
so
set
tough.
in that she imagines her not doing it is immediate doom for everybody.
Yeah.
Not knowing that, Homer already had boxes and boxes of pizza there with names like, Morning Margarita and Pre-Dawn Pepperoni and...
I like it.
Midnight Meat Lovers.
Yeah.
And then later on, Afternoon Anchovy.
Yep. So anyway, he finds out that Marge is in the building, and he's like, "Oh, got to clean up." Removes the pizza, and a real life like IRL picture of Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
that was
Get that.
weird. Why was it not a Simpson-fied?
No, and that's kind of so South Park as well, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have the
Real-
Or
drawing and then you
Family
have the-
Guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does
but
really
to have
snap
the,
you out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
but to have the weird, obscure old politician. She's in the news at the moment, isn't she?
She is, yes.
She's pretty great, Elizabeth
She's pretty
Warren.
awesome, yeah.
Yeah. She is doing lots of standing up against that. What's his name? Fuck it. Like, I'm
That
sure
guy?
he's not that important.
Drumpf something.
Yeah, I think that's his name.
You're a Simpsons connoisseur. How many times, Elliot, have you seen real? I mean, I can only think of the 3D episode, but how many times have they used real pictures of people?
God, that I'm not sure on. Like,
Okay.
this is the first to my knowledge. Like, I know they've done like mixed media and they've had like claymation and CGI segments.
Yeah.
out. Yeah. I don't
I
know.
feel like it's happened before. I cannot remember it though.
yeah, maybe that'll be the theme of this week's trio of episodes.
Super hope not.
But anyway, so Homer gets all typical fucking, can't have the wife at the workplace, rush out of here. I didn't like that, but I did like how Marge's distracting of Smithers by using scrapbooking. That was on point for both characters.
It was
Yeah.
on point, and it actually did a good job of bringing up. They call it face look in this one. Whatever that could
Another
possibly
fucking
reference.
parallel import gag. Just
Yep.
call it Facebook. You're not
Yeah.
fooling
Yeah.
anyone, and it's actually making it more laboured calling it something else.
Yeah, but I mean, it brings up the idea that website exists in this universe much more organically than they would have normally done with other things. So I like that.
Also true to the Smithers kind of persona of idolizing Mr. Burns and making his scrapbook about Mr. Burns, which I
Yeah.
thought was, kind of sweet.
Yeah, there's everything sweet about their relationship, that's for sure.
I quite liked the next scene's joke of,
Yeah,
so you're not playing that grinder game again, are you?
I think it was like very quick as well.
Yeah.
It's a sneeze and you'll miss it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Homer's like, "Oh wow, you're useful. Let's go get ice cream at the eye washing station we converted into a soft serve machine."
Oh, yeah.
I actually liked this joke. I wish Lenny and Carl didn't talk
Yeah,
though.
it's one of those ones
Yeah.
where it would have been funny if they just left it at converted eye wash machine and not cut to someone using it. It's
But
like,
I gotta say, I also kind of liked a swirl of saline, swirl of chocolate. But there was an extra beat where they said something else that it wasn't that funny.
Oh,
No.
you mean when Carl says
Yeah, yeah,
something like,
it's-
I'll do anything to see you happy or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
It was
They
just
do
really
love each
odd.
other, and we know that their relationship is complicated. We don't know what they are, but
It
whatever.
is.
platonic friends. How's that complicated?
Yeah.
No, but we've watched that episode where it's almost like they're brothers because they say like our mum works there and that kind of thing. So
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, true. They do switch them up
Yeah.
way more often than is necessary.
But I personally think a saline chocolate
Could actually be a little bit
work,
delicious.
like salted chocolate.
Sea
I could
salt,
do
yeah.
it, yeah.
You can't like find a product now that doesn't have a salted caramel.
I
God.
know.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I don't even remember a time just when it was caramel.
Yeah.
Like,
I miss the days when it was just
No, me too.
caramel. I'm
Yeah.
over salted
Now
caramel.
it's like, would you like this salted caramel banana? It's like, oh, I just would just like banana.
No, I'm just kidding.
Salted caramel bread? No, God. I mean, yes, maybe, but
yeah. So then we sort of get to the B story where, kids, you've got a coding teacher, and I like this where all the boys are being assholes, and then the female coding teacher proves them wrong, shows her how tough they are, but then
says a bunch of words we didn't understand.
yeah, and the cruising in the Destructoid app conference with your
.com
You'll be-
and
you
your
will-
URLs.
You're saying you'll be pooping crypto jargon and stuff. Like, it was all this stuff. It was a sentence that was full of actual words but didn't make sense in context.
I feel like this is, again, the room full of smoky rattles going, put some internet there, I don't care what.
yeah. Rich Simpson writer.
It's fun. Try
That's
it.
what Tim Long is.
Try it. So, God damn you, Tim Long. We'll find you. We'll find you. We'll have a frank discussion over iced tea.
I find that this episode, maybe what annoyed me so much, and part of it is the scene in the school. And this kind of is like Bruno, the
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Sacha Baron Cohen character, is that it plays on stereotypes which are now so outdated that they're
Yeah.
not funny anymore.
Yeah.
It's now not, I mean, maybe once upon a time it was really cool. Like, remember Hackers? When you all like in Jurassic Park where the girl
Yeah.
is like a hacker.
It's a
What
Unix system.
Yeah.
32.2 BPS modem.
That's your
Yeah.
favorite line.
I love
But
that.
there was a time when being a woman in computing or coding, I don't know what to call it because I'm not in that world, but that was new and you were a bit of a rebel or you're a gamer girl. That day is gone now. That it's so common that people don't
Yeah.
even make fun of it. So the humor, just the premise seems so dated.
Yeah, and for a
Already.
episode that's only a year old now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure in 2016 then it probably was dated as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
Because it's so accessible now.
Because I know I get what the teacher was trying to say with the, we're tough. We've got to show how tough we are. And I feel like, though, nowadays there are a lot of women who work in IT. And the fact that they were like, they had to be this stereotypical, like they all looked, they had like the short hair,
They
the
had to
cool
be the
hair and lots of
same,
makeup
yeah.
and piercings and stuff. And it was, yeah, you're right. It was a stereotype from even the 90s, maybe
Yeah.
early 2000s. And it's just, you
I think-
look in an IT department nowadays, it's just, they're just people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you kind of hit the point, Beej. It's like it was trying to make a message, but it didn't know what it was.
No.
Like it was trying to hit on a hot button issue, but it had nothing to say about it.
A hot
Pretty
button
much.
issue that's no longer, it's a very
that's
cold
past.
button now.
That button
Yeah.
is
a,
gone.
a non-button.
It is
issue.
Chilled
cool.
right out.
No one wants to press it.
Nope.
We've moved on to other buttons.
Just on the bit where,
Yeah, sure.
okay, so she's standing in the room with all the nerds. They're all woman coder.
Yeah, and
And
ham and
she scans
database.
and there's Lisa at the back and she's like, haha, the one other female. What bugs me in this, Lisa's laptop isn't open. Everyone else's is. I know it's pointless and a tiny little thing, but I'm like, I assumed there would
She
be
was
some...
waiting for the instruction.
Yeah, I know.
Lisa is really
I
bad
was,
at coding.
I was waiting for like either a joke like as if I'd turn on my computer before my teacher said so or something like that, but didn't actually happen like that.
They do nothing for the kind of, like, I don't know, not that they're going to try and help the cause, but they do nothing for it because the first thing the teacher says when she gets in there, I think, is, wow, it's like a total pencil fest in here. And I'm like, but you're a teacher. You're a shitty teacher if you don't teach every single kid in your class. You can't just single someone out because they're a woman and then just say, well, I'm not going to bother with any of you other suckers. I don't know. I just think it's a shitty thing to
yeah,
do.
Well,
go to
discrimination.
CrossFit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
so,
that's
and then,
so weird.
Yeah, again, it just feels like that's another thing that's going around these days. Throw some of
yeah.
that in. CrossFit, whatever that is.
What does it look like? Who cares? Just
Don't look it up. I imagine it's strapping young men with medicine balls.
Well, anyway, just before it gets into the coding story proper, so Marge has a bunch of photos from her day at the nuclear plant and posts one of Homer with a melting ice cream out in front of one of the cooling towers that she's captioned it "Meltdown."
At the nuclear plant.
Yeah. Which, was a good enough turn in the story, I thought. And, the whole exchange with Smithers explaining how face look Works.
Yeah.
What was it? It'd been seen by
55 people.
What did these hitchhikers' thumbs mean?
They're likes.
55 is a baker's half 100.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Everything Mr. Burns is great.
I also liked when he, in anger, he smashes the iPad and the little
The little
NSA
component.
spider comes out and crawls away.
What was that?
It was a little component and it grows legs and it's got NSA written on it and it crawls
I
away.
see it.
It's a very quick blink and you'll miss it kind of thing.
Again,
So you
it's
must have blinked.
one of the good things you can draw out of the HD era is they really do take advantage of the extra space they're given in widescreen.
Yeah.
So
Then Homer gets fired.
by Ricky and the angry interns.
Yeah, that was weird and dumb.
Wow, terrible.
Yeah, it's a
Just
shitty way to go out of an act with a non-joke. Just, I'm an angry person. Cut to commercial.
And Mr. Burns firing people is always so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He relishes in doing it himself.
Yeah.
Why is he getting an intern to do it?
There's so many different ways as well. There's like the shoot. There's the dogs. There's like there's monkeys that he hasn't quite trained yet. Like, yeah. Well, I was about to say, at least this part where he's fired and he tells Marge, and it's like, oh no, what happened? And I think this is a real shitty thing to say. He says, I let you come to work. And it's like, oh, wow. Like, what a dick. Like,
Yes, you see what happens when you leave women in the workplace. Everything goes to hell.
Well, that's it. It came up from Homer's like blatant sexism before. Oh no, marriage and workplace should be separate. And then, oh wow, I can take advantage of you. Yeah, let's have a fun day at the nuclear plant. Montage, and then now it's like, nope, back to sexism.
yeah. And especially, and a very kind of what I thought was an un-Marge-like comment where she says, can't they take a joke? I can't do Marge voice. But like,
No one
that's
can.
Okay, yeah, no, only her. Where she says, can't they take a joke? I'm like, that's something that everyone else says usually about Marge.
Yeah.
Right? It's like she's changed somehow.
Yeah, and during that scene where she's like that, I think it's at the top of Act 2, and like Homer goes, "Oh yeah, this is why I never try to be funny," and then
Yeah, continue trying to not be funny. That was
when I was
so
saying
awful.
they took advantage of the space, and it's like to their credit, and like immediately I thought, oh yeah, that's right, and then this scene comes up, and then it's really fucking forced and laboured.
Yeah.
Like
He squirts a beer in his face. He gets the cat to wipe him off, and then the cat scratches his face off.
that was where the funniness stopped.
Yeah, if
for
it
me.
had just been the cat wipe,
Then
that
he
would have been
puts his hand in the toaster, gets zapped.
Then he goes and
then
puts ice cubes on his
on
face.
his face, and then he slips on the ice cubes, which causes the whole everything on top of the fridge to fall on him, and then the fridge to fall on him, and he's dead again.
Yep, Homer dies.
How many times has Homer died on this podcast alone?
How many episodes are we on? 35?
35, and roughly
Times three.
about.
I'd say he's died 38 times.
Yeah. And Marge, I like the joke of I'm already stretching the budget, and Homer's eating cream of calories.
Yeah.
That was nice.
The
But
most
then he,
generic
like,
brand.
she says something about, we'll have to cut down on all unnecessary spending, and then he like
Waves
waves
on a
the speedboat
boat. There
that's
was-
like, happy
yeah.
birthday, Marge. Like,
You know
Oh,
what?
I missed that.
what?
I
It's not
feel
worth even
like-
seeing it.
I feel like that's a very Homer thing, though. It's like his idea of like a great like birthday present for Marge
something
is
that's
I'm
gonna
gonna
put
it's
them
for
in
him.
debt.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy her a boat. She'll love a boat.
But I think that would be a very Homer thing within a reasonable budget that the Simpsons don't have to buy a speedboat.
But he
so
already
it
bought
might
it.
be. Yeah, but I don't think
He
that
bought it before he
Homer.
lost
I
his
don't think that Homer would traditionally buy a speedboat. I think Homer would say like, "Hey, honey, I got this great thing for your birthday. It's tickets to monster trucks."
I don't know. I
That's
think
more like what Homer would do.
I feel like
reckon.
it's the kind of impulsive thing that he
A
would just
boat?
buy. Yeah,
When was
he'd
the
be-
last time Homer bought a
Look,
boat?
I mean, bottom line, it wasn't funny.
It wasn't, but yeah,
Sorry.
let's not argue over it.
Shayna, I did like how it kind of tied in with Lisa's story now because it's like
Yeah, I do
Marge
like the
going,
link.
"Oh, why couldn't I've figured out, that I shouldn't have posted that thing?" And,
Yeah, and Lisa's been tasked with coming up with an app idea and walks in as like, light bulb. I think literally light bulb.
Yeah, it was from the like iPhone ideas,
The
like,
tips.
thing. Yeah, the tips. That's it.
except it was the Mac startup sound.
Yeah. Well,
It was, you know what, it doesn't matter.
Technology.
It was recognizable enough that you knew that it was an Apple sound and that it was
True.
the look of an Apple app as well, and that's what matters.
so yeah, it's full speed ahead, and the coders move into the Simpsons house, and then they do Silicon Valley, the intro, but done in Springfield, and Like,
like Silicon Valley, the TV show. Is
Yeah.
that where
Yeah.
that was from? Right. Okay.
yeah,
I
which
wasn't
looked
sure
good
what
as a visual, but it was a bit too long. Like, and there weren't any real jokes in it. And like the last bit, instead of Silicon Valley, it said Springfield, and I thought, there was probably a better joke to make there.
I didn't really, because it didn't really flow. If it was like that was an intro for the app crush that they do later on, like, you know, that was like a, hey, like, come do this at Springfield, whatever, technology dome, I don't know. But it led in from nothing and it left with nothing.
Yeah, like say if it was like a news report from Kent Brockman and going, we've got Arnie Pye with an overhead visual of this massive app development place, and then like, yeah, it's the helicopter panning out doing the Silicon Valley bit, then it would have been a bit organic to the story, but it's probably a bit laboured to even force it in there the way that they did.
I think it's
Especially when there's no Silicon Valley stars guesting in this episode.
No, but I think it's that we've talked about it before, I'm sure, numerous times, but like lesser so teens, but also HD Simpsons does a lot of cultural references just because they're popular at that time.
Yeah.
And not really having anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Just quickly, have you guys seen it?
No.
Silicon Valley?
Yeah.
I always meant to, but never. No.
It's a decent enough show. Like, it can sort of get a bit, they're in trouble. Oh, everything's good. Oh, they're in trouble. Oh, everything's good. But, like, the dialogue is, like, really witty. And
Snappy.
Okay.
yeah, and TJ Miller and Thomas Middleditch are great in it. And
Oh, yeah, I've seen them in other things, but
Thomas
I've never seen them.
Middleditch was, like, the expert D&D player in Harmon Quest
Yeah.
who came with his own dice. The only one. Watch Harmon Quest on CISO if you're in America. I also like the visual of like when Lisa and her coder mentor were explaining to Homer, and the visual of behind his eyes.
Yeah.
Even has his pupils in them for some reason.
Yeah,
Like, why
but-
is it not just the POV, him going back and forth between the two of them as they talk and getting slightly blurrier?
Well, I feel like maybe it was supposed to be because your pupil is like a kind of almost, it's got that dead spot, like the blind spot. Maybe I thought maybe that was it. It's a stretch. I know.
It was
Don't
just
look
a
at me like
visual
that.
to follow where his eyes were going. I don't know.
Yeah, and like how he's slowly getting confused and his pupils all start spinning. I thought it was clever, like a different way to.
They essentially did a POV shot wrong, and this is something everyone who can see on the planet knows they're doing wrong.
Sorry,
Because-
Beach. They're doing the whole episode wrong.
Yeah. I
What
know.
makes you think that they'll focus on
There was
just
so
the
much
eyes?
that they did wrong in this episode.
I don't know which hill to die on, okay? I'm just going to fight on all of them.
All right. Well, he orders a beer drone and he decides, you know what, nuts to this. I'm going back to the only job that I loved and understood. And I actually like that his old job was a dishwasher and it was simple. Something simple that even Homer could understand.
Yeah,
you have
just
dirty and clean.
Dirty
Yeah.
and
And I'm
clean.
like, why didn't they follow that thread of Homer working in a diner rather than Homer works in a diner and decides to become Greek now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole rest of that is so weird. I will quickly flash back to the one line I did like, which is they've got all the women coders and they've hired Comic Book Guy as the token male. He goes,
Tokenism. Sorry.
everything I say is offensive to them somehow. What do you mean by them?
Yeah.
yeah.
I quite like
I
that as
thought
well.
that was
In the whole Homer being Greek thing, I quite like the line of it was something like kissing men in a non-sexual way just like brings you joy or
Oh, no,
something
no,
like
no.
that. What was it?
Non-sexual guy kissing is the best.
Yeah, non-sexual guy. And I was about to turn around and I'm like, oh, well, that's a new world for you that you had to enter when you started dating me,
Non-sexual
non-sexual
guy
guy kissing. And I was like, actually, that's quite cute because we do kiss each other quite a lot.
Ethnics.
Women and men, the ethnics, there is a lot of man
Sorry.
kissing going on. And
That's
that
why
was
I got out of Europe.
of the whole Homer being Greek thing. I actually thought that was quite a cute
Like that
line.
he was just embracing the whole kissing of it all.
Just the way they were kissing, and like that's so normal to me. But I see when Jordan meets up with my family on Mum's side, the men all kiss and hug and they kiss each other on the cheeks. And then when Jordan sees my dad puts his hand out to shake his hands. I'm like, what is it? What even is that? But I thought that was quite cute. I quite liked that little line.
Can I just jump back one little bit? It was about when Homer's listening to Lisa and the teacher's idea, and they're talking about like, you know, they're saying we fed in information about things that people did and the consequences so that the AI can learn what the consequence will be for future actions.
Yep.
And there's this bit, and this is why I thought the episode was released, was written maybe in 2013 because there's a whole bunch of them, but the one is has Krusty landed yet? The hashtag, and that's calling back to like a real world incident into 2013, I think it was. Is this woman Justine Sacco who posted a tweet?
Oh yeah,
and then got ripped to shreds during her flight. And there was this
AIDS in Africa.
Yes. Which was meant as a kind of as a joke about kind of almost white privilege, but everyone took it the other way.
Yeah.
And then so that's why I thought, well, this is way not relevant anymore. So why did they keep it? Well, couldn't they have put a new one in? Because there's always internet
Plenty
gaps.
more things have trended.
Yeah, true. Exactly. Like, but that's why I thought maybe this was written in 2013 and they just like held on to it and just shelved it and thought, we need an episode.
I wouldn't rule
pulled it out.
Certainly. So yeah, Homer being great. It starts out with that Zorba dance as well. Is that what you call it?
It starts with Homer slowly getting hairy shoulders.
Yeah, I noticed that. And I was like, okay, well, fine.
But we already know that Homer has hairy shoulders.
I'm shaving my
shoulders.
But he shaves, damn it.
Well, he stopped shaving during his time working at the...
I didn't mind
the
the Destiny thing. I don't remember what the first one, but then the other guy who goes, my Band-Aid fell in the hash browns.
Destiny.
But yeah, then they do that stupid Zorba dance that just goes on way too long. And
I wrote down the words extended coleslaw musical.
Yeah.
That's the only time that's ever going to get written down, ever.
But yeah, with Gil choking and the shootout, like...
Yeah,
it could have been funny, but it wasn't.
And there's another example of let's just bring back a character that people know from one or two episodes in our good old days to bring that nostalgia back for you, because it's same as like Crazy Cat Lady when they bring her in.
I don't know. I think for that one, because they needed someone to be choking, it could have just been a generic thing, but they went, okay, who's like the unluckiest character in the Simpsons universe? It's always Gil.
Yeah, but did that make it any funnier for you? No, it brought no value whatsoever.
But yeah, that's true. I see what you're doing, but I think when they said like, we'll just make it
don't mansplain.
I don't think it was leaning too heavily on, hey kids, it's Gil. It was just he was there, and they went with that character model makes it easy.
It was easy,
but
probably.
It does nothing. It does something extra for it. You're right about that.
Because there's a little bit at the start with the dancing starts. It's like I can't remember what cartoon it is, but it brought me back when Homer starts like dancing and it's like his butt moving, and he like looks over his shoulder like he's like like that. It puts me in mind of this like 50s cartoon that I can't think, where it's like someone's body just like starts dancing and they're not even aware of it, and they're like, what's going on?
There's quite a few old cartoons like that where their feet just start going and their body is kind of.
Whereas I'm just thinking about Futurama. So.
But yeah, so the coders really work quickly on this app, and they get it into beta and they test it on Bart. But yeah, I like the turnaround with it as well, where Bart actually decides not to do it, but they're like, no, we want to see if this thing works. Post.
Yeah, so the app designed to tell you exactly what the outcome is going to be. You'll get 5 weeks detention. Oh, I better not. Okay, now to make sure that works. Post. But
now I'm going to get, and then it cuts to 5 weeks detention.
And I like how, Seymour's nose was in a bandage. Like,
his laser hair nose trimmer.
Yeah.
I did write down Bart's caption for it: "World's lamest dork is giant loser." But yeah, so even quicker than they get the app finished, that Conrad becomes sentient.
Yeah, dumb.
Yeah, no.
Dumb.
And just for the record, the teacher is played by Caitlin Olsen from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Right.
She plays the role of Danny DeVito, of course, and and Stephen Merchant.
That's the first time I've laughed this whole evening in relation to this episode.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm hilarious.
You are.
And Stephen Merchant, the co-creator of The Office. The tall one with the eyes.
And he's like the 5th most Britishish person in the world.
Yeah.
Who's
the first most?
First most is Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, he's so British.
So very British.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Brenda Dirk Cramples Crunch.
Cabbage wank.
Eggs Benedict Cumberbund.
It's just so much fun.
Where's Stephen Fry rank?
He'd be definitely 3, I think.
Okay.
Especially for the Depression.
Possibly after the Queen.
Okay. What about Christopher Lee?
The Queen and the 4th person?
Gandalf. Not... By that, I mean the character, not... what's his name?
Anyway, so...
Everyone knows Gandalf from New Zealand.
Anyway, so Conrad does the whole thing where he'll talk to Lisa, but to no one else. And Conrad's real. He's really real. No, you're going Coda crazy. You're now was crazy.
It just now bugs me that they just stumbled across computer sentient. They weren't even trying for it. It just happened. Yeah. It's like, it's kind of, people are literally trying to do this. They're not getting anywhere.
But again, it's like time taken away from this Homer Greek story that they could have used. Because the next scene is the whole Moe's Taverna thing. Yeah. With the whole... it ends up, and then there's a Greek god Homer is over
laughing over the top. Yeah,
I do like the line. Try ouzo. It's like licorice flavored gasoline.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
That's what it tastes like. Yep.
Yeah, it's like if someone tasted Sam Booker and goes, "No, this could be way more repellent." Yeah. Like,
let's add some insect repellent to it.
Yeah, and so they're at the app thing, and there's another quick cut to Homer's Greekness by going, "Marge, look at my chest hair. Oh, woo."
Well, by this point, he's got massive eyebrows and a mustache.
Yeah, and the mustache doesn't even make sense with his muzzle either. Like,
because that's his like growth, right? That's supposed to be his 5 o'clock shadow.
It really just looks like he stuck a fake mustache
and I would have liked if that's what he did.
I actually thought that is what he did.
But there was no payoff to it. It never fell off. Or it was if you're just seen applying it, it would.
You're forgetting one of the more dated references as well, because when he says, "Look at my chest hair," Marge says, "Cowabunga."
Yeah.
What? When was this made?
Which is actually funny. It was pointed out to me recently that Bart actually rarely ever, if at all, said Cowabunga.
Yeah, it just got associated with him.
That sounds like a TMNT thing. Not.
It is. So I think people just got, skateboards and cartoons
radicalness
mixed up with...
apparently it was on a shirt with Bart, and it was a really popular shirt.
Yeah.
And in the Behind the Laughter episode, Bart says Cowabunga in a scene, and he goes, camera cut, and he goes, "Homer, your dialogue is terrible. I'd never say this."
Yeah.
And that was them referencing it. Anyway, I do like the whole idea that Lisa did make her app that was more neurotic than her, but like aside from that premise, I don't think they did anything good with it.
No. It was all, I need to be free because I'm British and sentient and... I don't know.
And then
I don't even have anything to say about it because it's just that little...
Well, the other thing I have to say is that when she was making her escape with Conrad and all the women coders she'd been working with go, "No, this is about women. Don't you want women to be good at coding and shit like that?" And it's like, oh, is this what this episode is about?
I had no idea.
You were so bad at making that point that I had no fucking idea.
It's like you sort of mentioned it at the beginning and then didn't mention it for a long time, and now you're bringing it back.
Yeah, even Homer says the words, Greek tradition of Deus Ex Machina to get us all back to zero. And, Conrad bribed Burns or something.
Which is weird, because now Conrad is theoretically floating around the internet in the Simpsons universe, just doing shit, like blackmailing people for people he likes.
Yep.
This is they've basically created a minor god.
Yeah. Yep. Done like a Jarvis in Age of Ultron, essentially. Before that, though, the other traditional Greek thing that apparently Greeks are known for is welfare, lazing abouting.
And not paying any taxes.
Yeah, which I thought was, that's a shitty thing to say.
It is, but isn't that one of the reasons they hit hard financial difficulty is no one was paying income tax?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also they allowed huge foreign investment and blah, blah, blah.
But anyway, other stuff,
And also you cannot flush toilet paper in this country. I want this to be the number one thing that Greece fixes.
Maybe if the Greeks paid their taxes... in Greece,
they could
flush it. Yeah, that's right. And they could pay for public services. Elliot, duh.
Well, look. I just don't think The Simpsons were helping with any of that.
No, I don't. Especially since Greece is having a terrible right-wing Nazi uprising as we speak. So that's probably not a great thing.
It's not Nazis. It's Golden Dawn.
Oh, sorry, Golden Dawn.
Wait, for real? That's what they're called?
That's what they're called.
Don't follow anyone with a cult name. God, golden shit.
And the whole thing ends with another great old post-credit sequence of the Zorba reprise, and Burns makes a meltdown joke and goes, "Oh, Smithers, it's funny when I see it." It's totally not a Burns line.
No, it's dumb. Terrible.
And I hated it. And it's time for the questionnaire.
Cool. Can I say a really quick note? They had like all the Greek stuff happening while Homer was dancing in his control room. And it's like, there's Pan, there's like all the Greek stuff. There's like meat rotating.
Three-headed Santa's little helper, which is
Bart flies by with Hermes' staff, which is actually the Caduceus with the 2 snakes.
Yep.
That's what doctors use. That's the wrong staff. They fucked up. They should have used, there's a staff, I can't remember the god's name, but it's actually a staff with 1 snake going around, and that's the god of healing and medicine and doctors and stuff.
Yeah, but was
Interesting
Bart
fact.
supposed to be
But it was
healing?
Hermes, which is, so he had the right staff. But I'm just saying doctors
Ah.
worldwide
The
screwed
worldwide.
up.
All right, so
Use
you're
the wrong
saying
one.
that The Simpsons paid
Got
good
it
attention
right.
to detail. Wow.
Another thing-
Doctors do not,
How
with
about
all
that?
their fancy education.
Another thing
6
that they
years
got
of medical school.
they got right when they're in the coding room, like the little hothouse when they're doing the thing. Burn down charts are actually a real thing, and they've got like burn down on the thing with like a graph like going down. That's a real thing in Scrum and Agile coding. So well done, Simpsons.
Thanks, nerd.
Yes,
And
just
that
put
was-
some more internet in there.
That was Jordan's anal corner.
Oh no, I've got more anal corner
Oh,
stuff.
dear God. Now it's time for the questionnaire. So storyline-wise, it's actually a bit muddled because you could say the coding story was the B story to the Marge and Homer A story, but then, like, Homer's story takes a very different turn and
It
becomes
becomes
a
the
different
minor part.
story entirely.
I'm sticking with what comes first is A. So.
Yeah, so it was a confusing A and B.
Yeah, but I do really like how they merged, actually. It felt pretty organic.
But how they came out of it from
No,
the other
everything
side
else
was...
sucked.
Did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
I mean, no one's off point. It's just
Homer's off point.
he got a new job. He does that every other week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he doesn't, like...
Suck at it?
That's the thing. He is the greatest dishwasher of all time, according to his old boss.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, because
If-
it's very simple. It's just clean.
I have to say, like, I didn't enjoy the episode, but I also felt that it was just a shit Simpsons episode.
Yeah.
It still felt like The Simpsons. I didn't, like I said, they went into it well. All jokes aside, being all
You said
jokes
before,
being awful,
you
but
said
then-
it felt like a Family Guy episode.
But it was
though.
also very Family Guy-ish in that they tell the joke and then it's like zoom over here or cream of calories or
Yeah.
whatever. The Simpsons had, and there was something in there, I can't even remember what the joke was anymore, where they have some funny jokes in the background, which is what The Simpsons is always does. You know, when you walk past the school
Yeah.
or whatever, they have a funny sign in
A
the
lot of
background.
signs as well. I didn't get to catch all the ones at the app convention, but I'm sure they were there. I just
Yeah.
couldn't read any of them fast enough.
Yeah.
Actually, they did bring back Cribble, the Philippines Google,
Cribble, yeah.
at the
Yeah.
app
Yeah.
convention. That
They
was
just-
I don't know if that's a joke.
I'm actually going to say it feels like a caricature of The Simpsons or like a silhouette.
sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Very diluted. You guys seen it? I doubt you've seen it before.
no.
No.
What?
You
Seen
said
this
what?
episode?
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, I've seen it. This is the third time properly, and never again.
I'm surprised you got to the third watch. I mean, you have to, but you watched it a second time and then a third time after that.
Wackiness. Yeah, Homer's Greek stuff was just balls out wacky.
Yeah.
But it's not wackiness that led to anything. Like
No.
it wasn't his dancing that led to another story. It was just he did it.
Yeah, it
And
was
it
was over.
background
Yeah.
half jokes like him dying and yeah.
It was part. I don't think it was the wackiest episode I've seen, but it's definitely part the way wacky.
It didn't, and in your kind of like quadrant, it didn't. It wasn't better for the betterment of the episode.
Well, yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
whole idea of the sentient app was pretty wacky, but I don't know, as the years roll on, yeah, it might not be
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say the
Improbable.
movie Her came out before this, so maybe they just thought, hey, there's an
Yeah,
idea.
let's just run with that.
I haven't seen that yet.
Neither
It's
of
pretty
us.
good.
It's pretty good.
I've heard good things.
All right. Good old Joaquin
Pahunix.
Ponix.
That's his name.
It's Josh Fern.
And his brother, River. Heart. I didn't feel the heart.
No,
Nope, no heart.
It was maybe in theory meant to be around Lisa and women and doing
Empowerment.
stuff, doing it for themselves. No,
Against
it
those
wasn't that.
dongle donkeys.
Oh,
No. So
the
it's weird.
trouser browsers.
In this instance, the only opposition they have is their references to them being opposed.
yeah.
As in, you see no one having a other than the kids at the beginning laughing at having a female coding teacher, but they're kids and they're idiots, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, yeah, they're 8 years old.
Yeah,
Like, give them a
exactly.
break.
And it would have been fine if they ran with it and they had the kids keep being a pain in the ass to her and like enforcing that point, but they took time away from it for this stupid Greek story.
But it's and also because they like the kids were like, oh yeah, I want to help, and they're like, no, we're getting good coders in, and it's like, well, you're actively you're being what you're fighting against.
You're actively discriminating against a bunch of children.
Yeah, and that could have spawned a different story where maybe they compete to make a better app or something. You know?
And then like togetherness, the spirit of togetherness and working together.
Yeah, oh my gosh, we have some working together. Or they could Springfield it and just fuck everything up.
When they wrote this episode, did they not have a round table like this? Like, can we trim some of the fat? You know, can we?
I said more internet in this, so that's what we're getting. And some Greeks. They're funny.
And I went to a Greek diner the other week, I think it was.
They just went, had Greek for lunch. Put something about that in there.
Yes or no, do you want to watch it again?
No.
Let's rank it. So in the Simpsons Index, we rank things on our patented 6-point scale, which starts at the very bottom at failure. Then you can work your way up to participant, and then getting in the good rankings is bronze, silver, gold, and for the best of the very best episodes that we just say the Simpsons cannot exist without, we rank those cubic zirconia. I think this one's going to fall very short of that. Anyway, I'm going to show you how it's done, and I'm going to give it a participant. I thought I would have failed it, but honestly, I did like the first act, so yeah, it's as simple as that. Nice one, Shayna. You can go next.
Thanks. Failure. I can't even be generous enough to say it's participated in anything. I know I'm always really harsh towards these new episodes, but god damn it.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to give it participant as well. It is borderline failure, but it's not. I usually reserve failure for anything that I really want to dig at.
And this makes you angry?
That makes me angry, makes me want to yell at something that makes, in occasions, has made me want to leave the room, or something where Elliot's tried to kill himself.
Can I revise? I'm going to go with participant. You're right. Actually, you're right. This does not make me as angry as some of the past episodes we've watched that are new. You're right. Actually, I agree with that.
Cool. To me, it's forgivable because I know I'm going to forget this tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes.
George?
I agree with everyone else. It's participant. It's forgettable. It's not angry. It makes my blood boil or anything like that. But it's not like I want to watch it again, so I can't give it a bronze. It's just
we're not better for the experience, but we experienced something.
I'm already forgetting about it.
I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not underwhelmed. I'm just whelmed.
All right. So that does it for the HD era episode. Nice.
She watched 10 Things recently, so
can you ever be just whelmed?
Yeah, that's what I was like.
You don't have a Prada backpack.
So now we're going to jump back towards the teens, and we've picked an episode from season 12. Called Day of the Jackanapes. Does this sound familiar to any of you?
It does, and I don't remember why.
Features everyone's favourite sideshow Bob.
Okay.
So
wait, which one? This is the one where he hypnotized Bart?
Yeah.
I hate that one. Oh, cool.
And we are back. We just watched season 12, episode 13, Day of the Jackanapes. Original air date February 18th, 2001. And this is the episode where, upon learning that Krusty deleted all of Sideshow Bob's episodes of The Krusty Show, Sideshow Bob decides to take out revenge, and he gets out of prison and uses and hypnotizes Bart to kill Krusty. Yeah, that's what happens. Forgot my own catchphrase. Guys, what do you think?
It's not as terrible as I remember.
I was surprised when you were like, I hate that episode.
I was thinking that this, at the time, this had been the worst Sideshow Bob I'd seen, and now there's so much worse out there. That this is much better. But yeah, even then, for the whole most part, it is pretty good.
Yeah, even the few stupid logical leaps that you have to make, especially with Sideshow Bob's plan, which is terrible, it remains funny mostly throughout.
Yeah.
Very strong beginning. Weakest part's probably the ending.
And I noticed that when you watch an episode, now that we're doing it the other way, the newer episodes first, when you are enjoying an episode, it goes much faster. Jesus, that first one just dragged.
Just kept going and going.
And this one, just in general, if we're talking about how the last one was so much like Family Guy, where it was like cut to joke, the jokes were in each scene. They were there, they were coherent, they flowed, and even when they weren't like A+ funny, they were still funny and relevant. They weren't just like a quick random cutaway. Which I
and also
quite liked.
I think speaking to something that goes faster, because this one there was a you could tell where it was going. Like,
Yeah.
you know, okay, this is Sideshow Bob's plan. This is when it's going to take place. And you know that's where you're headed to. In the other one, which is like they're developing this app. There's a convention at some point and something. And you don't know. And then Greek, and you're like, because you don't know where you're headed, the road feels much longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the goal of this episode is very clear.
Yeah.
Once they introduce Sideshow Bob.
Yeah. Revenge on Krusty. Very simple.
Yeah.
Which is almost every Bob episode, apart from Kill
Bart.
Die Bart Die.
Or Marry Selma. Or Nuke Springfield.
Yeah.
Or destroy them. But no, I'm not actually
most of
disagreeing.
most of them are still too...
I'm not actually disagreeing, but I'm just
Okay,
going
cool.
through all the other ones. Wait a second.
Well,
I
no,
missed.
like when I was thinking of the synopsis, you know, it is hard to differentiate this one amongst all the others because,
It's his shtick.
yeah. But anyway, so this one starts out with one of my favoritist bits is a show called it's like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire
can we all do it?
parody. Do you want to all do it together?
Yeah.
And now time for everyone's favorite game show,
Me
Wanty. And it's great. And Mo was like almost the perfect character to be there.
Yeah.
I feel like if it was later, it'd be Gil, but no, Mo was perfect for this.
Oh, gee,
Yeah.
I sure like currency.
Yeah.
I was like when he's answering the question, he goes, well, I was born in Indiana, so that ain't it.
Yeah. And yeah, when they go, so we asked for your answer, and you stalled for 20 minutes. And he goes, yeah, your producer told me to. And then he's just like,
Well, now, we'll need your final answer within the next 10 to 15 minutes.
because, yeah, I don't, like, it's running as the hot seat now or something.
Yeah, Millionaire
Hot Seat.
Yeah, and I mean, we never watched the Regis Philbin Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but the Eddie McGuire one, oh my God, that was painful.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just him sitting across from some toothless bogan who's, trying to remember what the capital of Tasmania is.
International listeners, a bogan's like a hillbilly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the Eddie McGuire one was always like, we'll find out after this break.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do. And you're like, oh,
Yeah,
God damn you, Eddie.
padding their padding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, Mum used to be obsessed with the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire DVD game.
Oh.
You remember those DVD games that you play with your remote?
Even better, the VHS
Yeah,
games.
Yeah.
Nightmare on VHS,
Nightmare. I
man.
used to love Nightmare.
What was that? Was that like Atmosphere or something?
Yeah,
Yes, it was the-
Atmosphere was after
It was
Nightmare.
like the sequel to Nightmare.
So, yeah, you just had a spooky guy on the screen. You played your VHS. You're like, if anyone is caught in a tar pit, you're released now. Ooh.
Remember that there was one part of that game where you had to stare at the guy's face? Do you remember that? Do you remember that part? As you were staring at him, his face slowly rotted.
Oh,
It was
nice.
pretty
Wow.
I don't remember that.
No one ever wanted to get
I'll have
that
to
bit.
look it up.
They're all fantastically overdone. Like, and now you have to go in reverse order.
Yeah.
Satan.
Yeah, so this sort of kind of nicely segues into Krusty and some network noters watching this show on screen, and like I like how hassly the network noters are. I thought it was a very organic part of the story, and especially for this time around 2001.
Yeah, this is probably, I'm going to hazard a guess and say American Idol probably started around this point. This was like the beginning of the
Of everything
reality
being reality.
TV craze and like, oh, we got to hit the demographics and, you know, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. So, yeah, I feel like this is really in the moment of the era, the
I
zeitgeist.
do really like one of their lines to Krusty. It's like, we're losing teen males. Can you get jiggy with something?
Yeah. And yeah, using the buzzwords like edgy cute and
Yeah.
I will say there's an interesting one for transitions, as in almost every transition, that first act comes from someone watching TV.
Oh really?
So yeah, you
didn't
go
notice that.
from Mo to the Simpsons because they're watching Me Wanty, and then goes from that to Krusty with the executives watching the same show. Then goes from Krusty being on TV to Sideshow Bob watching him. I don't know, I thought it was really. It's a very interesting way to get you to move from one point to another without any kind of like cross cut or anything like that. It's just.
Sure, and it didn't feel too forced. Like,
that's
it's only
okay.
now that I think about it. Oh, I guess that was a bit clunky, but
Well,
it kind of makes
now
sense.
that we're doing this, now that we're looking at The Simpsons analytically, they do this a lot.
Yeah.
And it works really, really well. And I think it's holding up that good old mirror saying, you're watching TV too, fuckers.
yeah.
So
And
meta.
they hold up the mirror again a couple of times, but we'll get to that. So once again, Krusty quits. Again, much like Sideshow Bob going after Krusty quitting his own show isn't a new thing. And I like the joke where we're back at the Simpsons house where Homer goes, I wonder what it'll be like if Krusty's off the air. What are we watching? Nutsy the Clown. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's just so dumb. But what does he imagine Nutsy's like?
But he just resumes eating like nothing has happened. And he's just like, you can tell it's all in his imagination, but he gives nothing away on his face. But that, and then they do that like self-reference when you look at it now and you're like, oh, Simpsons, if only you knew what was to come.
The repetitive line.
16 years later. Yeah.
But I do
Oh
like
my God, Maggie shot Mr. Burns again.
Maggie shot Mr. Burns again. And then Simpsons.
I'm actually surprised. Like, I didn't realize it before picking it, but I've actually seen this episode a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, surprised at how well it held up. So that's where Krusty, in his interview with Kent Brockman, reveals that he'd taped over all of Bob's old shows with episodes of Judge Judy because he had a thing for her at the time. That
Who hasn't?
felt like such a weak story point. Like,
Hey, but then
I don't mind it. It's like just lazily taping over these things. It's like that. That's how little it matters to him. He'd rather tape over them than spend $3.99 to buy a new VHS.
yeah, but it's not like stars of the shows, like, even if they are like writer, creator, executive producer, have access to the master tapes of their own show.
Yeah.
Like,
True. I could have thrown a line like, well, the main ones in the studio burned down and mine were the last copy, but
Yeah.
something like that.
George Lucas taped over the original master Star Wars things. I don't know if he taped over them, but he definitely misplaced them. They're gone.
really?
Yeah, the original master tapes are gone. I think it was a couple of years ago because they had to take it from a copy essentially.
He needed a coaster.
Yeah. So it can happen, but no.
It's okay. Everyone's going to love the remakes anyway.
Yay.
The HD upgrades.
Actually, Disney is re-releasing the originals in original condition.
Oh, thank fuck.
Yep. All praise to Disney.
Yeah, so Sideshow Bob's watching this on in prisons, all shocked, and God says, lights out. And he's like, oh, come on, at Chino they get to stay up until 9.
Now, Bob, I talked to the warden at Chino, and that just ain't true.
That was quite cute, actually.
Yeah, that's one of those lines I really remember. I didn't remember it came from this episode, but I really like that bit.
Yeah, I didn't even remember the Me Wanty came from this episode.
Me, well,
What?
it is very disconnected from everything else.
Yeah.
And typical scene as well of Sideshow Bob at a parole hearing, but
How have they not learned by now? Like, surely they go, oh, wait, we did this 4 other times. This is a bad idea.
But I do really like Wiggum following Bob out of the prison yard. He's like, I'll be watching you every... Hey, slow down.
You got those long legs.
I've only got these itty bitty hooves. But yeah, unlike the parole hearing in the Cape Fear episode, this one was not expositional at all. It was just all jokes.
Yeah.
I've got small sandals, and the book club is people clubbing me with books.
Yep.
Which I liked both those jokes. Just
And ripping on Tom Clancy.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Is he? Should we? I don't read.
I
He-
haven't read Tom Clancy.
He's
I don't know.
He's also
have you-
dead, so...
Is he?
Yeah. They keep publishing stuff under his name, and ghostwriters now have taken over for him. Or maybe it's a ghost, Tom Clancy. Sorry?
Splinter Cell?
And Rainbow
Yeah.
Six, and that's all him.
A lot of tech thrillers. Anything where something happens to the US is his deal.
That's probably Tom
He was like,
Clancy.
Some of All Fears and all that. He wrote all them as well.
Right.
If you want to read a Tom Clancy, we can just read Matthew Riley because he's Australian, and then you can say you're patriotic too.
Matthew Riley is awful.
Isn't he terrible?
He's fantastically awful, I will say that.
It's so much fun to read his books. Yeah, they're not.
It's
gonna-
watching an action movie on paper.
it's fantastic.
With all the logical jumps. in
Is
it.
he the one that
so great.
Phil's always ripping on?
No, Phil...
He showed me that one book that came with a map, and
Oh, they all come with maps.
Yeah, because he has to let you know exactly what's going... Because he can't describe things. Phil loves to hate him, so he reads all his stuff while you're like, come on!
So good. I've got every one of them.
so Sideshow Bob, part of his plan is to apply for a job at Springfield Elementary,
So he moves into the storage yard first, which I love is the
yeah.
saddest place on earth in all the rainbow colored.
Like when they've all got plans for a reg, he's like, mine is better.
But yeah, like the guy, there's one sharpening a knife, one tying a noose, one just got a nuke.
A nuke,
Is it canonically that guy's name Raphael?
Raphael, yes.
Hey.
A fridge too far.
Is he the same guy as the one you call Millhouse? He's
Yeah.
not here. That's him as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and that one looks wildly different from this one.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so Sideshow Bob, part of his plan is to get a job at Springfield Elementary, which I liked, but I didn't like that then his job became the morning announcer.
Yeah, he goes from assistant janitor to morning announcer somehow.
Which is dumb because it's a job they usually get school students to do.
Well,
Yeah.
And they've also got Skinner standing there while he does
Watching.
the announcements.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Sitting in his desk, sitting in his chair. Why?
And also the ad break for between Acts 1 and 2 was the whole mwahahaha.
it begins.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, just excited about my new janitorial. Sure.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
My announcing job.
My announcing
That's what
job.
begins. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Bob getting the announcer job, it's whatever, but it's just means to an end, isn't it?
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
just to find a way to get him to coax Bart into the shed behind the school.
Yep.
Sounds creepy.
And it was creepy.
He tied him up and everything.
Yeah.
And
I'm
tried
sorry-
to hypnotize him
I'm sorry.
to make him do his bidding.
Serial killers aren't meant to be creepy.
Good point.
No, we've
But
got all
also-
that lovely clean cut serial killers you
But
get.
all this Springfield Elementary playground
Yeah,
is
playground.
super haunted, I guess.
It does a very Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Uh,
With
Yeah.
and they're like the merry-go-round just turning by
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah. What is that thing called anyway?
A merry-go-round? No.
No, that's the
it's
one with the
a-
horses and stuff.
Oh yeah, a spinner.
Spinny. with
spinny
the-
hot because
Carousel.
they get burning in Australia's sun.
I don't know. I
Spinny
never
hot.
went outside as a kid.
Yeah, the Australian sun will melt your skin off one of those, so do not touch them.
Yeah, back in those days, I was inside with all my other friends doing the Muppet Babies Index,
Oh,
which was a very old podcast.
So, guys, what did you think?
I thought that maybe you just forgot your hat, so no hat, no play. No fun today for Elliot.
It was a harsh
No?
but fair rule.
Yeah.
No,
hat,
I
no
was
play.
thinking about that today as I was going for a walk outside. My head was fucking
Oh.
on fire because it's 40 degrees or some shit at the
It was
moment.
only 29 degrees.
International
Oh
No.
my
listeners,
god, this weekend's gonna suck.
Yes, it is.
international listeners, there's a general rule in Australian public schools where if you don't wear your school hat, you can't go outside because it's so much cancer is out there.
Yeah.
All raining down from above.
Especially in Australia.
Yeah,
Yep.
that great ozone layer. Also, a Legionnaire's hat specifically, not a baseball
Yeah, no,
cap, not a
no.
cool hat.
No.
You've got to have the flap
Gotta
off
have
the
a dumb
back.
flap at the back.
Protect
Yes.
your neck.
Yeah, come to Australia. If the spiders don't get you, fucking cancer.
Yeah.
We always used to rip off our flaps.
Ooh, you
Oh,
rebel.
so hardcore. No, we
Nah.
were too goody-goody that you'd tuck them in.
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about? You had to fold it around the end so you got a better grip so you could use the bill as a club.
Oh, yeah.
They hurt and that was good.
Like a blackjack.
Yeah, like it was an improvised blackjack. You just wrap the, and then you could grip it by where the flat came around.
Yeah.
And he was like, smack.
So anyway, Bart gets to the sports shed, and I actually really liked all the banter between them. The whole
Yeah.
Bart being confident because like I'm
oh,
6.
hey, Bob.
Yeah, I'm 6-0. You're-
Is it 6-0?
Yeah.
Again, yes. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was actually I remember checking that fact a while ago, and yeah, that is very accurate.
I like the self-reference to the what? No, eep? Like,
Yeah,
And then he goes on to rakes my arch enemy. It's like, I thought I was your arch enemy. I have a life outside of you.
yeah.
I really liked that line.
Which as like the rake gag by itself, I didn't like, but then like
The
he made it
follow-up.
work,
the
Yeah,
follow-up,
yeah.
yeah.
and then with Bart's "Hey, stupid," made you look like
Yeah.
a very easy joke.
Great little
but
kid banter. Yeah.
yeah, that came after he loses his quarter.
I needed that for the washing machine, yeah.
So Jordan's anal corner.
Okay, cool.
One in particular. So if you have a target,
Yes.
And you
and
spin
if you
it.
spin it, even if like your spinning point is off center, will it make a spiral?
It will not, no.
Didn't think so.
No.
What?
It will, look, if you did do it off center, it would look kind of...
Spiral-esque.
Yeah, but it would never be like a spiral like he is doing, where the lines get really thin and kind of spin outward. No,
And,
it
and look
wouldn't.
like a spiral.
That was one of my things. I've got another bone to pick about the archery targets, though, so I'll
Yeah, 'cause
come up
that's-
with that later.
to me, that's where this episode takes a pretty big downturn, is when he drops his hypnotism coin, and so he improvises with an archery target, sticks on the end of an arrow and just spins it, and that's enough. And it's like, Okay, didn't know you were a master of hypnosis there, Bob, but sure.
So even like as dumb as the hypnosis thing by itself was, I liked a couple of the things that came along from it, like the whole alibi of the flower shop and Homer's thing of getting drunk at the old flower shop. Which would have actually been a point of, I want to say, contention for him, being that it was only a couple of seasons ago that it got revealed that he has a habit of eating flowers.
Yes. I was point that out as well.
And also the Bart, like there's still that element of his kind of rebellious nature with the Bob, like while hypnotized. Well, I can't remember what Bob says, but he goes, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and when, he goes, now you're under my power. And he goes, I am at your command.
No, he said, under my power. No, go back to command.
Yeah.
Actually, no power, no command. Yeah, it was good.
And I like in the hypnosis how he's beating up on the Krusty statue. And he's like, yes, work the groin.
Chief Wiggum is in there like Chief, maybe we should look at that. It's good to see a kid using a wooden bat. And now it's all aluminum and
But his line was, it's all aluminum this and George W. that.
Yeah, that was
a dumb line. Like,
you can definitely tell this was made in a pre 9/11 world.
Yep.
The
suicide
bombing, which was funny before 9/11 happened.
Yeah. Oh, every show had a suicide bombing episode.
I remember the Brady Bunch had a great one.
With Cousin Oliver, right?
Yeah. You understand what you did was wrong. Yeah.
And coming into the third act, it's the Krusty's final show, and the red carpet, and all the stars have come out, including Gary Coleman, who apparently lent his voice talents to this.
Voiced himself.
Yeah, voice, no words, just a voice.
Yeah.
On the red carpet, that was it.
That's the other weird bit, is we didn't even know Sideshow Bob's plan until it's about to happen. Like, there's no pre-planning to it. It's just, first there's a baseball bat, and that has nothing to do with anything.
No.
And then it's...
Because that's the thing, he says, hit him like you're going to hit him tomorrow night. Oh, no, he just say kill him like you're going to kill him tomorrow night. But still...
And then in his dream sequence, it's a flamethrower or something.
Yeah.
In the shape of a rifle, like... okay.
Yeah, it's not well built up to.
No.
So when he whispers the keyword to... What's the whole Russia... The sleeper agent.
The
catchphrase. Yeah. When he whispers that to Bart and says, time to blow up the clown, and Bart's like, I'm going to blow up the clown. And I love Homer's like, go blow.
But the hand movement, like the double hand, like the just, that's fine.
I don't know if this is the implication, and I want it to be like, is that like a metaphor for going to the bathroom or something?
Could be.
We can make it one.
Have you seen that creepy with the clown urinal? Like it's a clown face? Yeah. Could be. And maybe those toilets look like clown mouths.
I blew up the clown pretty well this morning.
Oh, man.
Nothing more satisfying than blowing up the clown.
After my oil brand.
Really helps you blow up the clown.
It's like a Volkswagen's worth of clowns.
I'm going to be honest, I don't enjoy it now. It's not fun doing this.
Yeah, let's
So Krusty's doing the montage of all of his television appearances, and I don't like how he goes, then I was off air for 10 years, and then I was off air for 22 years.
Yeah.
It does lead to one of my favourite lines when Sideshow Bob's like, the catwalk, the perfect vantage point for revenge. And then... kettle chips, the perfect side dish for revenge.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know why that's not their slogan. I would buy so many kettle chips.
As seen on The Simpsons, the perfect side dish for
and
revenge.
it'll make him Napoleon
blown
apart. Shut up, Leon.
Yeah, like he still knows one of the Teamsters from back when he was on the show.
And who knows what he's doing, and yet doesn't stop him.
No, hey, I'm here to light, guy.
I didn't think much of the Krusty Care Center for Kids bit.
It's in character for him. Like I could see the joke coming from a mile off though, where it's like, when they said pledged $1 million, I was like, well, obviously he's not paid any money, which is, it's Krusty, let's be honest.
It's fine, but it feels like filler. They just need to kill about 20 seconds.
Also because they redo, I can't remember what episode it is, but they redo the, I've done a lot of the whoa, and like it seems like filler because it's like, oh shit, we need to make Krusty do something. Oh, let's reuse this joke that we've used before.
And my share of auga.
Yeah.
And then he goes into oh Bob, So he declares that he's apologetic for the mistreatment of Sideshow Bob and goes into a Mindy cover, which is annoying because it's something they've already done on The Simpsons.
Oh, Margie,
Mandy.
you came and you found
I'm thinking
Mindy
of Mindy's
is-
a character. Right, of course I am.
Yes.
It's actually a thing about the Simpsons reference rather than the original
But
reference.
yeah, and you're not going to beat the Oh Margie, you came and you
No.
found me a turkey.
Yeah, parody any other song, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Except for See My
Especially-
Vest.
And it didn't even work because Bob is a one-syllable name. You need a two-syllable
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, even
Let's
Bobby.
see, maybe called him Bobby. In
Yeah,
the,
Bobber.
But yeah, they could have used any
Hey,
other
you know,
song.
you know
really.
what? Sweet Bob of Mine. Dun, dun, dun.
I thought you meant, oh, sweet Bob of mine.
That works
No,
too.
no.
Okay.
Sweet Bob of
Yeah, I know what you
mine.
meant now.
Yeah.
You know, at the time, though. That's fine. So Mr.
Yeah,
Teeny
Bob tries
saves the
to-
day.
Yeah,
Oh,
Bob
sorry.
tries to stop the bomb now, realizing that he's made a terrible mistake.
Wait, does Bob? I thought it was
Yeah.
just Mr. T.
No, he rushes down, but he can't. He's stuck behind adoring
Yeah.
fans.
He goes,
and,
oh, right.
My boy bomb.
Yeah, and Mr. Teeny's like, jumps down, grabs the bomb.
How was he like? Oh, yeah, right. Okay, cool. Sorry, I didn't get it the first time.
And yeah, goes to throw it in the room, notices the network executives and goes, throws it in anyway. And they melt like the
T1000.
T1000.
T1000. Sorry, I've only seen Terminators like once, 10 times, and then none for the rest of the movies.
Wow.
Well,
okay.
you need
Your
about
mistake.
10, 4,000, and then none for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then they reform. Like,
We have notes. That actually worked out because that's exactly how they
Yes.
do it.
That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah.
So then, anyway, hard cut to the Simpsons and Krusty and Mel and Bob at dinner, and they decide to take a photo together. Oh, well, I mean, Bob just tried to kill us all, but, you know, let's have a happy photo before the police roll in with a fucking guillotine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
Aren't we
bit on
supposed to
the
have
nose.
a trial? Oh, wise guy, huh?
I do want to quickly mention that I was reading a noir novel and it even has the line, "Oh, a wise guy, huh?" And I was like,
Yeah.
They didn't do. They could have, I guess, so they could have made it as anyone else. There's no callback to Mo winning $500,000.
Yeah.
"You really think that's going to be the plot for a while there?" Because
Or like even a
walks
B
away with
story.
cash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and they burn the rest of the money. That was so good.
And
Oh,
yeah,
they kind of. Oh, I just realized they kind of do that in BoJack Horseman as well. On that show, Hollywood stars and celebrities. What do they
Yeah,
know? Do they know things?
Let's
Let's find out.
this is another episode where you learn vocab because most Bob episodes are. But I was the risibled one, which just means like the funny, like the
I
one that
missed
made laugh.
that word.
You
Yeah,
can add that to
vocabulary
vocabulary.
coming soon.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
I also
yeah.
like that the lady exec, I forget her name, is always an
Lindsay
executive.
Nagle.
But yeah, always a different executive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just the generic executive model.
John Zanuck corner, ready to go. All right, cool.
And a minute on the clock, go.
All right, cool. So Mo wins $500,000 and they put a wheelbarrow of cash. And they say, okay, now you got a chance to win $1 million. They bring a second wheelbarrow down with the same amount of cash, but then the wheelbarrow is also made of gold. So surely that would be worth more than another $500,000. So I think that they've either...
They're not giving him the wheelbarrow.
Well, you don't know
Yeah, that's
that.
a studio
Yeah, I do.
wheelbarrow.
You don't know.
They
Okay.
said money, not wheelbarrows.
All right, okay.
Next.
Sideshow Bob is, as far as I'm concerned, not a slob. So why is he living in like pizza? There's like old pizza and drinks just everywhere inside his thing. He's a pretty neat guy, I
You ever
thought. So.
planned revenge from a storage locker?
Okay.
It's hard, man.
Okay. Bob sneaks in to the last show, but he's hiding behind 3 bushes, one of them, except nobody's pushing the trolley. Who does he think is going to be pushing? Like, everyone looking at him is going to go, well, that trolley's moving by itself. Just get someone to push the trolley and then go behind the tree. That's stupid. Anyway, why would the bowl that he's mixing the plastic explosive in say plastic explosive? That's just dumb. That's going to ruin your whole plan. There's no need to label your bowl.
It's the sack with a dollar sign
He
on it.
knows
Yeah, exactly.
that it's plastic
So you
explosive.
don't mix it up with guacamole.
Okay, fine. Why would the bomb go off at the end? There's nothing to trigger it. Anyway, that's another
it's
one.
The buttons, it's the hand buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So maybe they just hit the floor or hit
No,
an
but Mr.
executive.
Teeny just takes the bomb strap. He doesn't take the hand bombs out of Bart's hands.
But
He
I
doesn't
think,
take
I
the
think
triggers.
the whole thing's connected.
Don't try and explain it. Also, last one. Bob's feet on the catwalk when he first comes out of the door are normal size, and they should be huge.
Yes.
All right, that was worth it.
That's legitimate. The rest
Okay,
of them
you know
are
what?
not.
Fuck all of you.
I enjoyed
Fuck
it.
yeah.
I just
No,
also
you
believe that when someone says, I'm going to give you $1 million and then hands you to you in a briefcase, that's implication that you're getting a briefcase. When it's in a wheelbarrow, that's anyone's game.
It's The Simpsons. You can wheel 2 wheelbarrows of cash.
No,
Fine.
that's like a faux pas of taking money.
Still.
Time for the questionnaire. Storyline-wise, it was an A throughout, bit of like sort of first act deviation, but not much.
It's
Did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Yeah, for sure.
Like I said,
Yeah.
the ending's a bit weak, but for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, all the characters are on point.
Yeah.
Yeah, hypnosis thing is a bit whatever, but it's not.
I will say this
It's
is
solid.
where, maybe not here, maybe the ones beforehand, but Bob does make the transition from evil genius to psychopath, and this is definitely on that transitional period.
Yeah. I'll say that the thing about this episode is it does feel like a Simpsons episode, but it also feels like an episode that goes nowhere. Nothing really happens. Not much is going on. Whereas in other like episodes where Sideshow Bob's trying to kill Bart, then you've got the what's the Petunia musical called? The
HMS Pinafore.
HMS Pinafore, they're singing that, or the over the football, they've got the Zeppelin, and the different things actually happen. This doesn't feel like much happens to get there, and then it just kind of ends.
Sure.
But it still is, I think, a fairly solid episode.
Yeah. It definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
See?
Play count. How many times do you think you've watched this one? Start over here.
40%.
Okay.
If I think about it, maybe like a half dozen, just on random viewings, but not like something I've put
A
in and
baker's half
watched.
dozen?
A baker's half dozen, yes. So 6.5.
Yeah. Yeah, Shayna?
Maybe at least 6 times, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably a bit more.
Yeah, I actually want to say I've probably seen this 30, and this is surprising because, I know I've skipped it on the DVD. Like when I've realized what episode it was, it's like, this show ain't no good. Shoot my TV.
Get a new TV.
Sorry, I was remembering The Simpsons again.
Getting flashbacks.
Any memories of how parts of this episode influenced your life? Anything like that? I know I've used Me Wanty a whole bunch of times and just seen people watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It's Me Wanty.
I know I really like the line, no, I talked to the warden at Chino and that just ain't true.
Yeah.
And I definitely know I've used the line, kettle chips, the perfect snack for revenge.
Yeah.
Plenty of times. I really like that one.
The bit that's stuck in my brain the most is the bit at the end with the Mastini chucking the explosives in and then them
T1000.
reforming. That is really oh yeah, of course I know where this comes from. It's this episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why I hated this one, is because I really don't like that bit, and that's the part that sticks out the most about it.
I thought it looked good, but what do you like? You don't like the story arc of it? You a bit weak, or
they murder executives who then turn into a liquid metal Terminator. That makes no sense.
It's a metaphor, B, just a metaphor.
I like Terminator, and I don't want to see its name dragged through the mud any more than it already has, which is a lot.
Dragged itself through the mud.
Also, the fact that when he opens the door, there's 4 people in there,
And
and
in the
only
end-
2 come out.
Yep.
So 2 people
Are just
are completely dead.
Just
Yeah.
dead.
yeah,
Murdering
well, they're the
people.
interns. Once you get up to network executive, they give you the corporate.
Well, no wonder that intern in the last episode was angry.
Yeah.
He's on
Yeah.
borrowed time, man.
Yeah,
He could die at
he's
any
got to
moment.
get promoted to T1000
Yeah, now.
liquid metal, or die in a monkey
In a
bomb.
monkey explosion. In a monkey bombing.
Wackiness. Yeah, pretty damn wacky.
Quite wacky.
Yeah.
But
In that
not-
scene, probably to the detriment of it.
Highly to the detriment of the end scene. The rest of it, the hypnotism is pretty wacky. It's possible, but it's been done in more serious things, I guess.
Yeah.
That kind of hypnotism isn't actually possible. But the sleeper agent has been done in plenty of other
Yeah.
movies where it's been a thing and
Hey.
been played for drama.
Like little things like the network executive, like clinging on to the
Yeah.
thing that's pretty wacky, burning $500,000.
Yeah.
It's pretty wacky, but it's like it's play. It's I don't think that's that. Those ones are kind of to
No.
detriment. That's
Yeah.
kind of increases.
yeah,
that
only
sort of
It's
thing.
wacky, but within the realm of the Simpsons universe.
Yeah,
wacky.
for
Yeah,
sure.
you buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in that world, it's just wacky enough that.
Yeah, kicking people off your moving car is something you do in Springfield.
Yeah, exactly. I've never been to a place like that.
See how they went shoving and knocking each other down?
Well, I was about to say that's the second reference to that Terminator to scene because they've done the one with
Nettie,
Homer.
pick 9 out of the pitch and putt.
Yeah.
The heart. They didn't really even go for heart moments in this one.
I got no thumps, let alone bumps.
They didn't go for any heart moments, even with Krusty's final show.
I kind of like his apology a little bit. Where he's like, he was a intelligent, witty man who I pushed too far, and he went crazy and tried to frame me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't really the point of this episode to go for a heart at all. It was doing a rehash Sideshow Bob story.
Yep.
Not a bad one, just
Just a rehash.
obvious rehash. Yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
Yeah, if it was on.
Yeah.
All right, what playlist would we put
Would
it in?
you watch this again?
Now?
No, I'm just saying, you seem to dodge
In
that
future.
question.
Oh, yeah, sure. I always forget to answer the questions myself.
You'll watch most episodes of The Simpsons, I feel like.
Put it in our playlist, Sideshow Bob
Sideshow Bob
episodes.
episode.
Yep,
yeah.
Krusty quits.
Krusty Quits,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's, or Krusty Sings as well. There's another one.
Yeah, ones with Mandy parodies. There's at least 2 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was easy. Let's rank this thing. Shayna, kick it off.
I'm going to give it like a solid bronze silver alloy kind of thing. I mean,
Okay, you've got to pick one, and one of the words you said isn't one of our rankings.
Alloy. I give it an alloy.
For episodes that are reliable and useful.
A solid argent. That's what I give it.
Tungsten from me.
What do you reckon?
look, you know what? It was good. It wasn't great. It was good, but not
Oh,
great. I enjoyed it. Yeah, there were laughs and jokes and gags, but I guess there was nothing like that recalls a fondness or makes it particularly memorable other than me, Wanty. So I'm going to have to say it's a high bronze.
All right.
High, very solid, good quality bronze. Maybe the bronze is a nice piece of homewares or something that you have in your house because it's good bronze. It's
Yeah,
not-
the bronze has been turned into something you don't notice every day, but sometimes when you stop and you look at it, you're like, yeah.
yeah,
It's like-
that's nice.
Actually, bronze is an alloy. So it is an alloy. Correct.
Suck it, Elliot.
Yeah. Just thought about that. Yes.
Well, what do you reckon, Jordan?
I'm going to agree. You know what? I was listening to one of the other episodes, and you came up with a really good way for me to categorize my difference between bronze and participant, which is essentially, if I'm going to watch it again, it's like a bronze
it's
and
in the
above,
metal
essentially.
category.
Yeah.
So I think, for that, it's a bronze at least, and I just can't find enough to give it a silver. It's fine. It passes along, and you can tell, yes, that's fine. There's a couple of good jokes, but it's not. It's not the kind of, it doesn't grab you. There's nothing kind of like really super laugh out loud. It's just a passable episode, and that's fine.
All right, cool. BT?
I'm working on it, to be perfectly honest. Because I'm trying to figure out if the acts go gold, silver, bronze, which would average it out to a silver, or if it should be a silver, bronze participant, which would average it out for a bronze. So let me just think on that. Sorry, let me think. But Elliot, what did you think?
I'm giving it a silver, and in the way that I make the distinction between bronze and participant, is it an episode that I'd like to watch again? It's hard to make a distinction between bronze and silver and gold at times. Silver becomes like this weird little ranking where
It's hard to peg.
yeah. So I'm giving it a silver based on that I'd laugh more in this than the average episode that I have given bronze. And I'm a generous marker.
That is true.
I'm a kind and
But
generous
yeah, it
God.
definitely had enough unoriginality to pull it down into the silver for me. But laughs, jokes, and story-wise, yeah, it was there. What do you reckon?
I feel like I'm actually going to go bronze. For a long time, I thought I was going to go silver, but if you're going to tank any act, tank the middle, or even if you have to tank one, maybe the beginning. It's just that I think it started off so much stronger, and even in the midsection was much stronger than where it ended. And as we're talking about, the fact that the plot of how he was going to kill Krusty wasn't even announced until it was happening, and it all just slides into a wackiness it hasn't earned at that point. It's again, I think it's a very high bronze. It's like a bronze you bought it somewhere when you're overseas, and every now and then it reminds you of that, and you're not with that person who you were with when you bought it, but you see it, and you're like, I remember good days. I remember.
It takes you back to a better
I
time.
hope she's doing well. Yeah. Yeah. You stay there, little bronze statue.
All right, cool. Well, in the best to worst, that'll average out into a shiny bronze,
Which is really, I think that's what it deserves.
Yeah.
feels right. All right, cool. Well, that does it for that one. And now we're going back to the classic years, and we're going to go back to season 6 and watch Bart's Girlfriend
Oh, yeah.
with Jessica Lovejoy.
Oh, yeah. She's a bad girl. Sorry.
What's that?
That girl is poison. Yeah.
She's a man eater.
All right, let's go.
We are back, and we just watched our classic era episode, which was season 6, episode 7, Bart's Girlfriend.
We sure did.
This episode aired originally in November 6 of 1994 and guest starring Meryl frickin' Streep in the title role. Not many people know this, but that is her middle name. Guys, what'd you think?
Great.
Definite improvement.
From the stuff we just watched before.
I am several beers in, but yeah, it's definitely more enjoyable than the past ones, and it's kind of a lot more. Look, I feel it's hard. It's kind of hard to judge because they've had the benefit of time and repeated viewings more so than teens and HD era stuff, but still, and maybe it's nostalgia, but it's still just like, oh yeah, this is great, and the jokes that come through, and
yeah, this is it's not like one of the most standout episodes, but God, there's a lot of moments in it.
Hey, it's tight and funny, and what I've noticed in this one, a lot of the side jokes are really, really good.
Yeah.
Just little quick little bits and pieces that just come up. Like Homer putting a coupon for shake and bake in the collection plate.
We've been blessed.
we can afford it. Yeah,
But yeah, for a Bart-centric story as well, every member of The Simpsons gets their due at some point in this
Just a
story,
little
which
bit.
I like as well.
Well, except Maggie, but
except
what's she
maybe,
gonna-
but yeah, no, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
She is a plot device for a lot of episodes, so.
so yeah, it starts out at Veterans Park in tribute of some veterans.
Yeah. This was obviously an era, well, I mean, I know it is. This is an era before cultural appropriation was a word and a term that was used in widespread language because they're all, they're playing cowboys and Indians. I don't know if you can play that today. I don't know if you could.
I'd be a little sad if you couldn't. But,
Yeah.
It's
sad
really
too.
weird because I did play it as a kid, and it's just I didn't know it was wrong.
Yeah.
I still think to call it wrong is a little extreme. You're just playing
But it'd be
two
like
opposing teams, right?
Playing First Fleet versus Aboriginals.
Put it in this one. In this one, they've got Milhouse's line of "They're still angry when we gave them blankets covered in cooties,"
Yeah.
as opposed to the real world where they gave them disease-ridden blankets to kill them all.
Yeah.
Smallpox.
It's a little different from genocide.
I do also like the fact that the Indians ambush the cowboys as well. That was obviously a very a tactic that they used, and that's what got Custer killed and stuff like that. But I was just looking at it going, you probably couldn't do that episode. You probably couldn't do that joke today. It was it's fine at the time. It was absolutely fine. It wasn't even a thing that you thought of, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'll forgive it all for Bart's Indian name, Dances in Underwear.
Dances in underwear and God, what
Thinks
was
too
it?
much.
Talks too much.
Talks
Thinks too much. Yeah.
And I love Nelson's intrusion into the game, and I don't remember what they call it. Hey, they didn't have a Kill Blaster 9000 back then.
Records from that time are sketchy at best.
The bells ring and the time for church, it's time for your violin lesson.
Yeah. I love the various ways of them
Rounding
capturing Milhouse gets caught in the net with his father on a horse.
Yeah.
And then at the end Bart and Lisa are on metal choke chains on a thing.
I'm pretty sure it's a Planet of the Apes reference.
Yes.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think it is too.
Yep.
And Nelson's dad captures Nelson.
With a whip.
Yeah. It's
around his neck.
one of those whips on a stick, I think,
Dog
like
catcher.
Snake. Dog
Yes.
catcher, yeah. But yeah, another random appearance of Nelson's dad, whose appearance in the show has also been sketchy at best.
Yeah.
Is that canon Nelson's dad the same look and
It looks like the one from the soccer episode,
Okay.
yeah.
I
It
couldn't
changed
remember.
models a couple of times. And yeah, I think we should do that Nelson's dad episode soon, actually.
We
It's
mentioned
been
it a
coming
fair
up
few
a lot.
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we get them driving to church. We've got a great line from Marge where Bart goes, "Why the hell do we have to go to church anyway?" It's like, because of that commode, Mal.
But that, following on from that is, she says, because going to church teaches you something about being kind to your fellow man. And this is when the Simpsons used to make subtle but very sharply barbed references about religion. Which is the next one is about them smoting each other with.
And they did make flaming swords and pierce the eyes of the Jesuits.
Of their fellow man.
Their fellow man. Making sure to put fellow man in there. It's such a good bit.
Yeah.
Because there are some messed up things in the Bible.
Yeah.
And then Bart tries to but he has a little troll doll and he starts singing, "I'm a troll man."
I had no idea what that was referencing it for so long.
Oh, right.
God.
And then you saw Blues Brothers and you're like, oh.
Yeah, because I only saw Blues Brothers, I don't know, 2009?
Back when you didn't, because you didn't watch movies growing up like some kind of weird.
Like some weirdo.
Better late than never, Elliot. That's what we say.
I used to have a blog that was "My Name is Elliot," and that was me making up for years of not watching movies.
Yep.
I was going through my list, much like "My Name is Earl." It was timely at that time.
Yeah,
it was.
What I love so much about Bart doing that little song with the troll is that sometimes you get these moments from Bart that are just like take you back to when you were a kid, the shit you used to do. But like that troll doll and the way he just does it is so cute and subtle and just adorable. I love it.
I feel like it's especially relevant for you because you and your sister always used to make up songs, just random songs of like nothing.
Used to.
Still do.
Used to.
Fair enough. Yeah, good point.
And this has inspired my song because I hate using public urinals, so I always sing when I'm in the cubicle. Ooh, I'm a stall man.
Gotta remember that one.
Quick bathroom question: do you shut the door, or do you like some people wee with the stall door open?
Why?
No,
Why
I
would
hate
anyone do
that.
I hate it too because I sometimes will start I'll see open stall and I'll start going into it. I'm like this is
You
awkward.
can get a step in before you realize, oops, I'm about to run into some dude's bum.
God,
Yeah,
it's so
exposed butt.
Yeah.
And if he's one of those weird guys who takes his pants all the way down to his knees to pee, and you're like, you have a fly guy. Come on.
I don't know
fly
why
guy.
you guys use stalls. Yeah, I mean the thing is you gotta like lift up the seat, which got other dudes like poop germs and butt germs on it. Touch the door, which also has shit on it from when they're like wiping their butts. What are you so insecure about your doodles that you can't just whip them out at the urinal? I don't know.
No, it's not about doodles. It's just not wanting to fucking have a conversation with a person while my doodle's out.
Do they?
Sorry,
Yeah.
not doodle, or sorry, I forgot to mention this in the first episode. P-tube.
P-tube.
Oh, yeah. Apparently,
My
comic
P-tube
book guy has a colostomy bag.
No. Oh, no, I thought it meant because he fell over. He said, "I just want to let you know my P-tube is unattached." I thought he meant his
I thought he
dick
meant
had fallen off.
colostomy.
Oh, right. Okay,
I
well,
also
I'm
thought
off.
he meant doodle.
Maybe. Yeah, I thought it was too. Anyway,
That's
back to this episode. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a sort of cutaway style gag with the light shining on Jessica, and it turns out to be the lighthouse.
Yeah.
I love that. I keep telling you the light will work better if it pointed out to sea. I know what I'm doing. Then boat crash. I hate the sea and everything in it.
Just ashes.
It's so
Like, another thing with Sea Captain is you can't pull an episode out of him, but just for those one-liners.
Well, as we well know, Captain McAllister is not a real captain.
That's true.
He also has two glass eyes. Tink, tink.
So Jessica does the reading, and Bart instantly falls in love.
Yep.
And so he tries to be at this stage, he obviously thinks that she's
the good girl.
the good girl, the Reverend's daughter, and everything. And so he has to be very clean cut. Exactly.
Walks up to her and says, I loved your sermon. Your God's words have never sounded more plausible.
And then obviously he's distraught. And the bit I love is that he's on the floor and oh, what do I do? And Lisa's he says something well, she's the Reverend's daughter and you're the devil's cabana boy.
And that was great in that moment as well. What is it? My overbite? The fact I've been wearing these clothes the last 10 years?
Day
The
in,
same
day out
for the last 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
That's what I love about this episode. There's those quick lines that don't have to be funny, but are.
Yeah.
Also, I like how Bart goes to Lisa twice for counselling about this situation. And they have really good scenes together.
Yeah. It puts her in the episode, and it feels like a more organic thing. I don't see him going to Homer for girl advice, but Lisa kind of makes sense.
Well, he's been to him before, and he just woman's a lot like a beer.
Women's are like a refrigerator. They're about 8 feet tall.
300 pounds. Yeah.
So yeah, he decides to straighten up and fly right, which is good plot point, and goes to Sunday school.
Sorry, I'm just reading my notes and already laughing.
You're laughing about the hamster, aren't you?
No.
No?
Are you laughing about Ralph?
I'm laughing at Ralph, Jesus did not have wheels.
How does she know what Jesus did or did not have?
That's it, man. Fucking...
I just love it because it makes you picture what Ralph is drawing, and there's no version where it's not funny.
Yeah. But I love that next bit of the David and the replica of the David and Goliath, like the slingshot and the like. While you're looking at that, I'm going to busy myself with this filing cabinet.
Yeah. It's so dumb. It's such like the loosest like connection to Sunday school that they could set up for Bart to have to resist temptation. And but yeah, I like how they were all originally hesitant. We were happy. Everyone was happy, especially the hamster.
But that line of "make it up to Satan later."
But yeah, she's still, I have to turn my chair this way now. And do you ever have a thought you don't say? And like really pushing him away. Like, and then Bart gets caught in the sting operation.
Everything about this is so good.
The kilts are for everyday wear in battle with full
Sequin ball gowns.
The point was to blind your opponent with luxury. It's not just blind your opponent, it's with luxury.
So, of course, talking about Willie holding the apparently annual Scotchtoberfest.
And then just
so
like
good.
every item turns into like an FBI agent. Like the tree, the post box, like everything is in. You fell for a sting. There is no Scotchtoberfest. You used me, Skinner. You used me.
Which is so brilliant. I mean, there's no like telling how much money he spent just to get Bart 3 months.
Always love that Willie doesn't even know his own national holiday.
I'm surprised this is not in Jordan's anal corner, but how is Bart being able to be given detention on a Sunday? He's not in school.
Yeah, he's really not breaking the school rules.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, and separation of church and state. So the school is not a religious school that they go to. It's a government school. So
Yeah, but he's also not in the church. He's in some other ground.
I'm wondering if he went over to Scotchtoberfest, which was on school grounds,
If he'd
maybe.
walked that far.
I thought it was just in a local park.
It looked
Well,
like
that's what I mean.
Bars
That's what
and
I mean.
things,
I'm
so-
wondering if it was school grounds, but just off to the side. Because the other way, yeah. I mean, I think we're reading too deeply into it.
Yeah,
But
it falls squarely
yes.
into the it's so funny I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's so funny you look past it. But yeah, I didn't think about that for 20-something years this episode's been out.
Invites Bart over for dinner. We get the other great line. There's only one thing to do at a time like this. Strut!
Dun, dun, dun. And yeah, it's one of 2 times that they used musical sound-alikes, and I think, like, I don't mind the musical sound-alikes as much as, like, I hate, like, the other parallel import gags.
This is probably much more about copyright.
Yeah.
is it really not the original track?
It sounds a shit ton like it.
Yeah.
It sounds a shit ton like it, but they didn't use any of the melody, so...
No, that's why I thought it was just like the bridge between like the verse and chorus.
Yeah,
or
you
something.
could tell it was the bit that was like, I'm going nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I thought it was the real one. I was about to say because the next bit is the great music bit of the Homer's song, like when he's
Sunrise, sunset.
Cats in the cradle and silver spoon. Yes, we have no bananas.
I think that's because it's like and Marge is like, oh, you know, because like
A little boy is
Like
growing
touching.
up.
yeah, and no, Homer is just upset about that. They have
The
no
bananas.
Do you have no bananas
today.
The other thing about that Homer joke, they have no bananas, is that style of joke now is quite common.
Yeah.
That almost that bit of a misdirection there. So it's maybe not as funny now as it would have been then, like when that style of joke is quite new.
Yeah, even Homer's joke later on where he goes, oh, where did he get all those fancy clothes? Oh, how convenient. Like, that kind of does remind me of, like, the newer sides of Homer that I don't like, so that joke isn't quite resonating as much. And, yeah, I get what you mean, with the song, because it's quite similar.
Sorry. Yes, We Have No Bananas is by Billy Jones, 1923.
Oh, wow.
Who's Billy Jones?
1923.
Wow. And it was still present. Actually, to your point though, when Bart is having dinner at the Lovejoys' establishment, And he says, I was watching Fox the other night.
Yeah.
Had a funny story about a fellow named Martin who was feeling rather randy. And then and he had and
he was heard to remark.
Yeah.
Smash cut.
And I feel like in New Simpsons they would say the story.
Yeah, really drag it out and not make it all about the subtle implication that, all he had to say was, I was watching a show on Fox and, oh, God, this isn't a story appropriate for a dinner table.
Was even Fox back then?
Oh, yeah,
like it is
this
now?
is like when Fox came out and out of the gate they had Married with Children and then later on The Simpsons. And that was like, that's it. Fox is the
their
raunchy
bread and
network.
butter.
Yeah.
Fox turned into a hardcore sex channel so gradually, I didn't even notice.
It really did. I do love Bart's line there of, no offense, lady, but what you don't know could fill a warehouse.
Yeah. But, philosophically, that's all of us, really.
Yeah, I mean, just a warehouse? My God, she must know a lot.
Yeah. Do you think
Although, how big is a thought?
Yeah, well, that's true.
So, it turns out Jessica actually really has a thing for the bad boys.
Yeah, she's smart, beautiful, and a liar.
Better than those long, tall. What are they?
Sarah plain and tall.
Yeah.
Sarah plain and tall.
Crying over the top of the fence.
Of course, because she could see over the top of the fence.
Exactly.
So they do like this little montage again. This is another moment where it's sort of not quite the music, but it sounds like Mizzaloo, the Pulp Fiction thing.
Yes.
They're doing a bit of destruction, a bit of TPing, and teasing all the people at late night gym by eating ice cream.
Oh, man.
To let you know, Sarah Plain and Tall is the name of a children's book.
Oh.
Really?
So there you go. Yep.
The kids eating ice cream at the gym is particularly resonant for me, being at the gym at 5:30 in the morning, and the gym windows look out to McDonald's.
Oh man, yes they do.
And when you were
really?
like, after you've like just had this massive workout, and then you walk out of McDonald's and you can smell McDonald's breakfast, you're like, oh, fucking kill me.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it's like I work in a liquor store and they have an F45 gym that's between a liquor store and a bakery. And it's like, really?
I love that. It's like the toilet paper is an extension of your body, of your mind. Yeah.
It's very cute.
When Bart is talking about Jessica and none of the kids believe him, and so he's like, I'll prove it, and she just ignores him.
Like that dude did to Jesus.
Yeah.
Who?
Thomas.
Thomas.
Was it
No,
Thomas?
Doubting Thomas.
It's Peter, isn't it?
Peter or Paul. Yes.
I always get my Peters and my Pauls.
Peter,
mixed
you
up,
will, deny me 3 times or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, Peter. I think you're right.
Sure, it's Peter.
And
St. Paul's ones get. Is he the one that gets crucified upside down? Is that?
Paul was Saul.
Upside down.
Yeah. So fun fact:
the Bible is brutal.
An upside down cross isn't a satanic reference. It's a reference to, I'm pretty sure it's St. Paul, who insisted he not be crucified the same way as his Lord and Master.
Yep.
So instead went upside down, which would have been so much worse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, no,
crucified like the thousands of other people who got crucified in ancient Rome.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you may have passed out before you finally died, so maybe that's
Who
better.
knows?
Yeah, because like all the blood rushing to your
You
head,
know what?
right?
Let's just send an email to Mythbusters and get this settled.
Yeah. So Jessica rejects him, and Nelson like punches him straight away.
Oh, you
and, like,
feel that.
that's for lying.
Besmirching a good woman's name.
Yeah. And I love that it's often they often remark upon it that Nelson, he's a bully, but he does have this sense of honor
Like a
about
moral
him.
code.
Yeah, like he has like it's a strange ethics kind
Honor
of
amongst
center,
thieves.
but he sticks by it, and it feels like it.
Neutral evil.
This is for wasting teachers' valuable time.
Yes, Commander. Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jessica plays Bart again, and it's like, no, we can be secret. It'll be naughtier that way. Yeah. And it's funny. It doesn't seem like a trope that was much used then, but now it's like...
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Gives a little peck on the cheek. He's like, now I've got the energy to do anything. Just two minutes.
2 minutes. And so then they go skateboarding.
Yeah. I don't know if it's safe. Bart, you can't trust your perception at this altitude.
Yeah.
Which is actually true. Like,
Really?
I think you look at the... if you've been to Dreamworld, you go to the Giant Drop or any of those like dropping rides.
Yeah.
You look at it and like, it's not that high. But when you're actually up it, you're like, oh my God, I am at least 400 meters off the ground.
The Hollywood Tower of Terror?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was great fun.
But you couldn't see how high you were until they opened the door.
Yeah.
But like those ones where it's like they just pull you up slowly. I think it is true.
I'm gonna
like,
die on that ride one day.
You do
Perception
lose your
is
sense
different.
of like, oh my God, how I'm up way too high. I'm up way too high.
I think that's got more to do with like your brain going, you know, certain level is going to start freaking out quietly, going, "This is going to kill us. This is going to oh God, wait, nope. What are you doing?"
Every fucking time I have the thing, oh God, I bet the shitty little pimply ride attendant didn't lock my lock my harness properly. It's gonna fly off, and I'm gonna fly, and I'm gonna die, and oh my God, this is how I die.
I always did the thing. Okay, so when we went on the Hollywood Tower of Terror together, I was like genuinely afraid I was going to die from fear, even though that's like the third or fourth time I've been on that ride.
Yeah.
And I was like probably the most scared I've ever been. But every time I get on a ride and I'm terrified, I'm like, there are little kids on here with me.
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
not dead yet. And I'm like popping Valium before I get on the ride just so like a full panic
Disney
attack.
can't afford that kind of bad press.
No, I gotta say, Shayna, me and you were pretty brave, and it wasn't until like Universal
Aw.
Studios that we like looked at that thing that just went every fucking loop,
the
and
dangling
yeah,
seat
no.
ones are the ones you don't dig. Yeah.
and that Hulk one as well. That looked fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
That was
Fun.
so horrible.
Yeah, we are really brave, Elliot. We're
Yeah.
so brave.
I thought that was really
Hey
adorable.
kids, the bench.
Here's a question: that whole sequence with the hill. Do you think if that was in a new episode, whether you'd hate it?
That's actually a good question because it is very
Corny.
Super whack.
yeah, but I don't know. It's just done in such a good way where each object is so like the oil should have fucked him up, the ball bearing should have fucked him up, there should have been glue. Nah, it's not going anywhere.
Any of the glue leaking out? Nah, that glue ain't going nowhere.
But it's very Home Alone.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's that super like it's gonna happen.
There have been a lot of jokes we've said it would have been funnier if everything around it had been funnier. So
Yeah,
sometimes
that's
if you
true.
get led into certain wacky jokes especially, you're much more susceptible
Yeah.
to them because you're having fun and the way they're shot, you know,
Yeah.
and the way the voice actors go for it. Yeah.
I suppose as
It
well
is a tough call.
because they subvert it as well. It's
Yeah.
not that like he hits the oil and
Yeah, that's
stacks
all
it.
okay.
He hits the oil and the ball bearings, makes it through. The ball bearings nothing but an ant holding what looks like a pumpkin seed.
Yeah.
Just gone.
Wipes out, and then there goes the glue.
Well, the great.
Oh, that bubbling! It reminds me of the glue sticks that you used to have as kids. The liquid glue sticks.
Flag.
No, not
And
not quite
no, the ones you
flag.
mean. They were listed in the you know, clear plastic tube.
Yeah.
And they were really shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They were lousy with
Glue
glue
bubbles.
soaked
and
through.
just- yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, calling back to
Yeah.
season 28. I don't know why, but I thought the animation of the bubbles coming out of his mouth looked really good as well. It was like quite.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was like I fixated on that, but I thought, hey, that's pretty good.
That's true. That's the way Bubbles looks.
One of the best jokes of this whole episode. It's
Yeah.
where it's like, I'm worried that we're smothering him because we get the chair for that. That's not what I meant, Homer. Goes, think about it. That's what you really meant.
Admit it, Marge, it was. That's when Bart's walking through and he's got the cat stuck to his back. So he's got covered in glue.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's like, Marge's like, something's different about Bart.
Yeah.
New glasses? No, something seems to be bothering him. Probably misses his
Old
old
glasses.
And then Marge even has the line of, I would go up and talk to him, then I'm afraid of smothering him. It's like, that's kind of why I think Bart is going to Lisa. It's a good little...
Yeah, and again, they have another great back and forth between them, and then Lisa starts fantasizing about the kid that works at the library.
This is young adult.
I admit that's and I couldn't remember what episode it was from. That's a quote I've used.
This is juvenile. That's young adult.
Yeah. If only someone could tame
tame
him.
So just before that is when they're in school and she pulls the fire alarm with him.
Oh, yeah.
And Willie's got the great
yes.
line of, if I don't save the wee turtles, who will?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
Save me from the wee turtles.
yeah.
They were too big for me.
Can you just keep doing that accent? That's quite sexy.
Yeah.
I can try.
Shayna is reading Outlander at the moment, so that's especially
Oh,
sexy
really?
to her. Yeah.
Got a fair lass who's out here in these cold lands. Come stand by the hearth and keep me warm.
Dude, you should start doing audiobooks.
Yeah, please.
Specifically Outlander.
Specifically
I did
yeah.
once record a snippet of heavy Scottish relaxation audio, which was, let's see if I can remember. Let me see if I can do it. Imagine you can see a big fluffy cloud. Look at how fluffy it is. Now focus on your breathing. In, then out. Then in, then out. And imagine you're some kind of pastry. Something light and fluffy.
Why did you do this?
No. I was just hanging out with Sheridan one day and I just
Oh my god.
improv that stuff. They were going to put it on the back of the Shezbot album.
Oh, great. But yeah, so Bart, taking Lisa's advice, decides to quit Jessica and does the great calendar montage of crossing off every day, and you think that's the montage, the passage of time, and then
it's like a
that's
year,
the mystery.
isn't it?
That's like
3 months.
3
Okay.
months. And then, okay, these have marked out all the days I need to avoid Jessica for. Day 1, circles it. And it's like, at no point did he complete a day. Like,
They just sits down
And he's like,
waits 2
all right,
seconds.
time for church.
Bet your friend Jessica will be there.
but yeah, it's just like the perfect putting so much time and effort into the planning of it. And then with
For
it,
no reward at all.
no
Yeah.
reward. Breaks his thing that very day that he ticked off technically twice. And so there was a sign at the church covering even women from Jezebel to Janet Reno.
Yeah.
I don't know who either of these
no-
people are.
Jezebel
Jezebel's-
is like she was the person who tempts
Samsonite?
Samson.
Samson?
Is it?
Oh,
No,
excuse
that's
me.
Delilah.
Samsonite.
That's Delilah. Yeah. Who is
Jezebel.
Jezebel is a biblical figure, though.
Is she the one who gets the head of John the Baptist? I can't remember.
Ooh. According to the Hebrew Bible, Jezebel incited her husband King Ahab to abandon the worship of Yahweh and encourage worship of the deities Baal and Asherah instead. Jezebel persecuted the
Jezebel.
prophets of Yahweh and fabricated evidence of blasphemy against an innocent landowner. There you go. Oh, wow. For these transgressions against God and the people of Israel, Jezebel met a gruesome death, thrown out of a window by members of her own court retinue, and the flesh of her corpse eaten by stray dogs.
Oh, that's right. She was the stray dog one. Old Testament is hardcore.
Yeah.
Janet Reno was a former Clinton.
Yeah, she was the attorney general under
Yeah.
Clinton, apparently.
Yeah.
Right.
And she died last year.
Apparently,
Aw.
was she eaten by dogs?
She was not.
Well, at least she died before she had to see Trump become president.
Yeah.
So
So then, in the scene in the church, Bart lays it down to Jessica, and I like this plot point that she goes, I'm going to straighten up and play right, and steals the collection plate.
Yeah.
but
takes
Bart, it takes money to start a new life.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't have parents, and she's not 9.
And Bart's like, but this is wrong. And she goes, fine, you've just lost your cut.
Yeah.
I like how she calls him yellow trash as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, that's right. You're just yellow trash.
Bizarre. Before that, you get Bart sitting there like, okay, for once you didn't do anything, just explain it, it'll be fine. I took the money, we know, he confessed. And then he runs and jumps out the window. I just love the delay. If he runs, jumps out the window, just, stop him, he's headed for the window.
I couldn't tell if that was Homer or
I'm pretty
not.
sure
It
it's
sounds
Homer.
like Homer. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, Homer coming down on Bart. And I like that Marge sort of believed
Believes
him.
him.
And then...
She's always been his special little guy, though. He has
He's
always
always
been
been
her
her
special
special.
little guy. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's
Whoa,
right.
screwed up those pronouns.
That's also, usually when he gets in trouble, he admits it, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's not one to dodge it.
Or he's like, he's dead to rights. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say Bart's a troublemaker, but he's a good boy as well. Like I think with the Simpsons family dynamic, and this is, I guess, a much broader idea, is that I remember when they came out, and I know even with my dad was like, you couldn't watch them because it's like they're bad influence on kids and bad. It's a broken family. Blah, blah, blah. I remember how much people trash talked it, but actually the Simpsons is, I think, the perfect family dynamic
Yeah.
because actually at the end of every episode they still love each other. They're still a family.
Yeah.
They are still a group of people who come
and
together.
they're accepting of those flaws.
And
Yeah.
in Bart's words, he never wanted to be a criminal, just
No.
a petty
Just a
thug.
petty
Exactly. I think that's the thing. Like he like we were saying about Nelson before, he's still got a certain
He's got a code.
ethical,
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
as well. He knows when something is too much, and
Yeah.
it's very clearly stealing a collection plate for him is way on the wrong side of that scale.
Yeah. The whole town is just booing him whenever he walks in the street. He can't even hide in his treehouse
And I
without.
love the crossing cards. Boo. Hey,
You saw the money from the collection plate. Like, I just had to get it out before they go around.
By far, my favorite though is in the treehouse where Jasper just pops up, thief.
Pulls a blind. Yeah.
I like her as well. It's like, she's beautiful. She's got 108 IQ. It's like, and he should know that Lisa has probably got way higher IQ
Probably
than that.
130 or something.
Yeah, because 100 is supposed to be the average
Well,
and everything.
speaking of which, Lisa has such a clever line here.
Oh, yeah.
And her hair smells like red
orange
Fruit Loops.
Well, I eat Fruit Loops for breakfast.
Like the close up of her face, like the low shot.
Yep.
Yeah, great.
And so naturally, Bart is wheeled into church like in Hannibal Lecter style.
We've taken some precautions.
We shouldn't have agreed this. It really can't be good for self-esteem.
And I like how even after the church thing and they go to the Lovejoy's house, he's still in the...
Yeah. And he goes, I think you all owe my son an apology. And
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah.
sorry.
And
He's like,
But just before that, when
Yeah.
Lisa's doing the big speech, it's like, but doesn't the Bible teach, judge not, lest ye be judged? And Java's like, I believe it's somewhere in the back.
Yeah.
Which is, I think they've used this twice, and it's like, oh, somewhere in the back. Even the Bible says gambling is okay. Where's that? Somewhere in the back. It's like, if it's in the back,
Yeah.
it's either lesser known or less important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she can't hold out, and she has to. Oh, forget it! It was Jessica. And then Homer has a great line of "to the little girl's room."
Didn't notice as a kid. It's very creepy now.
Yeah.
I love that Moe's jacking up the mattress with a car jack.
Yeah. Well, probably he doesn't want to destroy the evidence. He wants to
Smells like church.
Yeah, that smells like church.
Well, we know what's happened here. Simpson has somehow snuck his room inside my house. Use your imaginations, people.
Yeah, and Lovejoy's denial is it's a bit unsettling, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah. And then you get a very tender, sad moment where Jessica's all like, it's a classic cry for attention. She's like, well, we brought you back from boarding school. It's like, I was expelled. And he's like, la, 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 la.
He's like, don't you remember the pipe bomb?
The Glee Club brawl.
The Green Church collection plate.
Come on, Dad, pay attention to me.
Yeah.
But it's it's kind of sad how that's unresolved, and it's we'll probably talk about it later with the heart. But it's like that, maybe Lovejoy isn't the best father figure at all.
I also think at that point when she's confessing, do they play the sad little version of the song, or is there? There's something
it's during
playing
her classic cry for attention when she's welling up.
That's what I mean. So they have the big heart moment, which then just falls flat on the parents' behalf.
Yeah, as soon as he starts denying.
The Simpsons are better parents than the Lovejoys.
I know.
Possibly. And yeah, it all rounds out with a final scene on the church steps where Jessica's cleaning up a community service of some sort.
Stairs.
And then manages to manipulate Bart into doing her bit, and in a point that she realized she can make anyone do her bidding.
Well, more importantly, she got the kid from the library.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah.
She tamed him.
Apparently.
Oh, I think they're just going around Springfield causing all sorts of mischief.
I love how
But
his bike is one of those ones with the handlebars way up and everything.
low
like
rider kind.
Oh yeah, but there was no motor, so it's obviously still a push bike.
Yeah. I do love that, and I've always loved, probably my favourite part of the episode is that end bit where you think Bart's been suckered in, but he's just going to fuck up the job anyway. That's his
He's still going to
revenge.
do it.
He's still going to do it with a halfway job.
That's his
Second
justification of
Yeah.
the thing
Yeah.
anyway.
Where do they see the halfway job I do on these stairs?
Do you want a lightning round your anal corner?
Yeah, really quickly.
Lightning anus.
One, the balloons just disappear from Willie's kilt. They lift it up and then they just disappear.
And the
yet
kilt
his
disappears as well.
kilt disappears as well. I thought they would just hang up, and they've got people's heads in the way. The only other one is how'd Jasper get up that tree? Because there's no ladder on that side. It's just the thing, and we know he's only got one working leg. So
The other one, it's like Go-Go Gadget.
well, maybe.
What was
No,
that?
isn't Mr.
Maybe this is how he lost the leg.
Yeah.
Is Mr. Burns after this?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, okay, probably. The only other thing I was going to say is Jessica. I think about it maybe as a kid. I would think that's like the kind of the boy girlfriend thing of when you're in primary school, whatever. But as an adult, the language she uses and the way she says stuff is really creepy when I think about it now. Like when she's like, "I'm a bad girl."
Oh yeah, but it's the clearly manipulative.
I get it. I
that
get
a
it.
kid would fall for.
But it makes me uncomfortable as a 30-year-old man
Yeah, but-
now,
but-
listening to it and her going, I can make a guy do anything I want.
Yeah, but
And it's
don't
like,
forget the
ooh,
Simpsons
yeesh.
back then. The classic Simpsons episodes were written so that And this goes for a lot of things that are written for kids and adults, where kids don't get that. They don't get that because they have literally no frame of reference for what a bad girl is. So they don't know. So to a kid, it's perfectly innocent.
No, that's what I mean.
To us, it takes on another layer of representation. I don't think it's creepy. I think it's that children who watch this, and I know when we were kids, I certainly didn't get the context. But there was no context for me to understand. I don't think it's creepy. I think it's meant for, that part and the way that she talks and everything, that's the joke for adults.
Okay. I still think Lolita was written by this stage. Adults knew what they were writing when they made Meryl Streep voice it like that.
Yes, I know, but what I'm saying is that the children who are watching it have no clue.
No, that's true, but they could have made her voice it in any other way.
That's the thing that's what's so great about The Simpsons is that for kids that means absolutely nothing, but for the adults who are watching it, then you understand it on a different level. And
but it's a creepy level. It's not another funny, different joke level.
I think it's supposed to be. I don't think it's supposed to be innocent all the way. And that's what's so awesome about The Simpsons is that we all here are now. Well, you're not 30 yet, and you just are you? Yeah. Okay, well we're all now 30. Okay, and
I'm
above.
in the club.
Yeah.
30
so
cool club.
We're all 30 plus in this group, and we have been watching this episode now for 22 years. Right, came out in 1994. And we're now like seeing other bits of it as we're growing, but we didn't think it was creepy back then. And that's what's so awesome about The Simpsons.
Timeless.
Classic Simpsons.
All right, it is time for the questionnaire. And so storyline-wise, this was an A through out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's going to be cut and dry. Did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons? Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, not much to say. All characters are on point. Everyone, like the show, its integrity is solid.
Everything is as it should be.
Play count. How many times do you think you've watched it?
Oh, God. Countless.
I'd say 2.5 baker's dozens.
So 26?
I think it's like 28 and a half now. I don't know.
Oh, God. What's half of 13?
I'd say countless plus a baker's dozen.
Yeah, this has got to be in the hundreds for me. Like, yeah. Do you have any memories of quotes that have influenced your life at all?
Strut.
Yeah, totally.
And the aforementioned, if only someone could tame him. I know I've used that a lot.
Mine is just sunrise, sunset,
yes, that's it.
sunrise,
I've definitely yelled, "Yeah, used me!" and full length ball gown with sequins to blind your opponent with luxury.
You know what? I've always heard the
To
sequin
blind
ball
your
gun, but I
opponent?
never about blind them with luxury.
Because I thought it stopped to blind your opponent. I thought that's how it ended.
Yeah, me too,
I did not see it was with luxury. So.
luxury.
Yeah, Troll Man as well. I was singing that song
Troll
long
Man, yeah.
before I knew what
Yeah.
Soul Man was.
Yeah.
There goes the glue after all.
Yeah. Lots of great bits.
We turtles. Oh, man.
Wackiness. Yeah, the wacky moments were like in that skateboarding thing.
Skateboarding,
and,
yeah.
I was going to say Willie getting attacked by the turtles is a little bit wacky.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But it's not like, it's not
Not impossible, just
stupid.
improbable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heart.
I liked Marge's reaction to like Bart kind of combing his hair and doing himself up nice, and it was kind of like, it's and of course Homer's like, he's not being a dick about it, but he's just kind of misunderstanding in his own world.
Yeah.
But I liked that bit, like it was about like our son, and I liked the Lisa and Bart kind of their relationship as well is solidified and
It's all
and
like,
extended.
no, hear me out. Put up with her for 7 more years.
And then we'll have a baby, and she'll be sure to settle down.
Should we
with it.
I've earned it.
I've earned it.
Yeah.
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 I think there's a lot of heart. It comes in very different forms, and that's what I think I really like about this one. You've got Marge, who has that reaction, then later on wants to help out Bart, but feels like maybe this isn't her place. You've got Bart at the end, who's like, I'm a little more mature and a little less naive. You've got the little fake out, well, not fake out, but an intended heart from Jessica that just gets rebounded off, and that's kind of like, this is what happens when people don't listen to other people's hearts. That's a weird sentence, but fuck it.
I like how it subverts the usual like bad boy kind of trope as well by making it like the bad girl with the kind
give
of
something for Bart to bounce against.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like a greater evil than himself almost, and it's like his struggle with that.
Although I'm going to go ahead and say that it's probably not subverting the trope at that time. I think there were a lot of 90s bad girl
Probably
characters.
true.
That girl's definitely
So it was kind of, so I think it was kind of in the theme of the time.
Yeah, that was when like the faculty and
No, the faculty came out later.
Okay, when was what was that other one with the 4 girls? and the
Craft. That came out a couple
all
years
of
ago.
them.
Right, yeah,
God, I love that movie.
But it was
Me
still peak that era.
yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
But yeah, a very different kind of heart as well, and one that facilitates a lot of character growth for Bart and shows him as not just a one-dimensional bad boy as well, like that he does have ethics and limits.
Yeah, he's got some morals.
Yes or no, would you watch this again?
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
What playlist does it belong in?
Ooh.
Oh.
Bart dating.
Bart-
He's got
Bart
Bart's
dating.
girlfriends,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
say
those.
the youth dating. Yeah, I think any of the kids dating, Milhouse and Samantha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also put in that playlist.
I would say, I don't know how many would be in this playlist, but Homer choking Bart. There's a definite...
early days for sure. There's a few
Yeah,
of those.
there's quite a few.
Yeah, it's weird how like unsettling that move is. Like it used to be played for laughs in the days, and now like it does feel like uncomfortable.
Bart skateboarding.
Yeah.
Sure, Bart's radical
Yeah.
skateboarding
Pair,
adventures.
pair that with like the Shelbyville one during the skateboarding race through there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're going over the...
Springfield
Springfield
Gorge.
Gorge
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, just general religious love, revel and love,
Church.
Revy Lovejoys.
Church episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
churchy.
Jezebel
Actually,
references.
you know what you were saying about maybe Reverend Lovejoy? I can't remember which one of you guys was saying
Saying
it.
not a great
About
dad.
maybe he's not a great dad, but I think that we've already seen in the past as well that he's probably not a great husband. He spends all that time in his basement playing with his trains or in the church giving advice. We don't really see him
Or not giving advice.
or not giving advice.
No, he's a very despondent dude.
yeah.
He's
So
just
I
doing
think
it for just because he feels like that maybe that's his niche.
Is in the job now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Maybe another theme, just Lisa helping Bart.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those, like
The
mini golf
I was
sibling
and
about to say
moments.
mini golf. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's rank this thing.
Okay.
BT, kick it off.
Cubic.
Yeah.
It's a tough, and I at the start I'm like, this is probably going to be a gold. When I was going through it though, it's a really tightly, really well paced, really funny episode. That I really can't find any kind of fault in. So, and I've had ones where they've been high gold for me and they haven't just quite made it over the line. This one just makes it over, I think.
All right. Cool. What do you reckon, Jordan?
Yeah, so for that reason, it's for me. I'm thinking about again, the statistician in me thinks like, okay, how many episodes are there? Like 1% of them should be cubic zirconia and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I can't give it cubic zirconia. Just the fact that I think there's a couple of episodes that I think of in my mind and like they are like so quintessential and just so perfect. I couldn't think of anything to change them. There's a couple of things in it. It's a great episode. Gold is by no means
Gold
a
is still
poor
great.
effort.
Yeah.
Gold by its subtitle definition is excellent.
Yeah, and it's an excellent episode. So for me, it's just that it's a great episode. It's just not the best of the best for me. I've got I guess maybe my favorites are a couple of different. So yeah, absolutely great episode. Very funny. Great viewing, but just not cubic for me.
Yeah, fun.
Yep. Gold for me as well. It's just, it's close. Like, it's damn close. There's just something about it which isn't pushing me over the
that's fair.
edge to say this is essential if you're going to check out The Simpsons. But fucking highly recommended. Finally, Shayna?
I'm going to be really controversial. I'm giving it a silver.
Silver.
Wow.
I like this episode. I don't love it. I think it's good. It's not great. It's not my favorite. I know. I know.
that
I always
twice
say
now.
It's good,
Yeah,
but not
it's not
great.
great.
Always I use that, but I enjoy it, but it's not my favorite. I think it's, like you said, it's well done. It's all put together, but the jokes aren't my favorite. The quotes aren't the ones that stick with me the most. But I like it, and having talked about it and explored it a bit more, I love the heart in it. But yeah, it's a solid high silver, but it doesn't reach gold status for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, again, it's one of those situations where my brains know it should be gold and my heart guts say cubic.
Yeah, that's fair enough. This is why
Follow
we
your
have the
heart,
personal
Beach.
rankings.
Follow your heart.
Yeah.
I do.
I can see that.
It's cubic gadilva.
Yeah. Well, this will overall rank to a gold. So
It's just
yes,
not-
it will, Kent.
It's about to say it's not even a shiny or a dull gold. It's just straight gold, really.
No,
isn't it?
Straight gold.
Okay. I'm
So
down with that.
me and you are right, Jordan.
Yes. Like standard ballet, this is gold.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that does it for episode 35 of The Simpsons Index. Guys, thank you for joining me this week.
Thank you.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
Thank you, guys, and I'm not tapping out.
stay away from the west side.
Thank you for checking out the Simpsons Index podcast. Don't forget to go to www.thesimpsonsindex.com for the spreadsheet and information about upcoming episodes.
And for today's extra content,
Sorry,
Everyone
guys.
is dying.
Sterling, our dog, has done like the worst fart. It's
Wow.
just
Holy-
like a
I got
bag
nothing
of
down here.
manure.
I got nothing. I'm
It
sorry.
is
What
so
real air
bad.
smells like.
So awful.
Anyway, to go along with that point, though,
in my mouth.
is that okay? I'm fine. I'm happy
It does
down here
stop
this end.
like about here.
Yeah,
so I
okay,
only got a
good.
little bit of it. But,
Still,
wow.
The coders really work quickly on this app, and they get it into beta, and they test it on Bart into Barter. That was terrible.
Oh, I didn't even.
Cut that, Elliot.
Hi, editing Elliot.
Time for the
Right. Take two.
time for the questionnaire.
Much better.
That was a bit sharp.
Use take
Time for the questionnaire. One last time. Time for the questionnaire.
I
Oh,
liked time
smooth.
on number 4 and questionnaire on number 2.
All right, cool.
Now do it in melodic minor. What's the third guy's name?
Oh,
Tori.
Tori. Thank you.
I always suspected
Yeah.
he was like hopelessly in love with Carrie,
Aww.
but
Aren't we all hopelessly in love with Gary?
Shayna, are you hopelessly in love with Carrie?
Carrie's a bit dumb with ill for me.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
like her, but she's just a bit annoying.
Dammit il for all you like non-Arabic Lebanese speakers just means kind of like hard to someone who's a little bit just annoying and just like, oh, you don't want to be around them too much because they're
Okay.
very
I didn't know there was a
her.
word for that. Good to know.
yeah. And
A
if
bit
it's
hard
the
to
plural,
take, like a little too much.
We used to use the term fucktard. So.
Well, it's not as far as fucktard.
Okay.
It's just somebody who's
It's-
just.
it literally translates to what's it, heavy-blooded,
Yeah.
and the plural is damant il. So there you go.
Look at Jordan, regular bilingual.
Heavy blood.
Yeah, I don't
Sounds
know.
like a weird condition.
You have some
Can't
really.
move today. I'm heavy blooded.
there was a great French saying that I heard recently, which was like, "Kill yourself; it'll save me money." And it's like
Nice.
something that French parents
being
say to
in
their
French,
complaining
There's,
kids or
there's
something.
a really great like Hebrew curse that means something like, something like, "May you have a mansion and find yourself dead in every room," or something.
Wow.
Wow.
That sounds like some Lynchian horror. I'm on
Yeah,
board.
That's
There's
terrifying.
a great one I learned once that was it's a French idiom, but when you translate it literally, it's supposed to mean like, yeah, right, like you're bullshitting me,
Yeah.
but it translates literally to my ass, it is a chicken. Which I love.
So kind of like, yeah, I believe that. Also, my butt's a chicken.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I just want to get back to this point I was trying to make that